for suppression. thank God that the brothers on the rise now. Endless celebrations all in my house. Levitating now, I'm super duper fly now. London boy, but DC where I reside now. Put the time in while you always yelling time out. And for quit it, cause I know I'm coming with it. You were sitting, you were wishing I was handling my business. Now I got the ball like Harry Potter playing Quidditch. And my business so humongous, you would think that happens in it. Oh man, I'm all that, yeah, I'm all that. Looking for that whip, yeah, that what you call that. I'ma blow up in the summer, have them yelling fall back. And I've always been ahead like an effing ball cap. Man, I came in the game like, whoa. Got a couple chains on me cause I like gold. They told me I'm the best and I told them I know. Cause when I'm in your town, every ticket I sold. Yeah, they saying I'm the man. Facts, bro. Lot of haters, tell me where they at though. I'm the new pop, all I do is rap though. Want me on your song, throw a couple stacks, yo. Woo! Everybody wanna do the same thing, yup. That's why we ain't on the same page. Do my own thing, and I maintain. Flow like water, so I'm going mainstream. I'm going mainstream. Flow like water, so I'm going mainstream. Yeah, I'm going mainstream. Flow like water, so I'm going mainstream. I'm going mainstream. Mainstream. Flow like water, so I'm going mainstream. Yeah. I'm going mainstream. Damn. Flow like water, so I'm going mainstream. So I'm going mainstream.
G'day and welcome to the Xbox Infinite podcast featuring Risk for the Biscuit, and I'm joined by Jedi Knight Peter and Eternal Umbra. And Every week we've got guests from around the gaming world talking gaming news, industry speculation, and covering the latest games on all platforms, giving you our unique perspectives on the week that was. Every Friday at 7 p.m. EST time, or if you're in Australia, at Saturday 11 a.m. AESDT time. So make sure to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and enable the notifications bell because you don't want to miss a show. So jump in the chat and let's get into the week's latest. How are you guys? Jedi, how was your week, mate? Pretty good one?
Yeah, great, mate. Yeah, great. Been playing Halo. Been playing Halo, mate. So, yeah, absolutely amazing week. Yeah, welcome, everyone. Please hit that like button, subscribe. Halo's out, baby.
Halo is out. It's crazy, man. Umbra, how was your week, man? Obviously a good one with Halo release.
Oh, yeah. One of the best releases this year, without question. I think it would probably gave a serious contention for Game of the Year if it had released a little bit earlier. So, yeah, I'm prying myself away from it now to do the show.
Yeah, as we all are. And we got some pretty awesome guests this week on the show. We're excited to see them. Mr. Bushido, how you doing, man? Welcome to the show. What have you been up to?
Not too bad. Not too bad.
Been playing Halo?
Oh man, I got to peel myself away from playing Halo. Like Halo is not only back, but Halo is extremely fun. Oh yeah, I'm loving it.
Awesome. And Xbox University, man, welcome to the show. It's great to have you here. Obviously, you've been playing a bit of Halo this week.
Yeah, so basically what I've been playing is I just finished Guardians of the Galaxy. It was a great game.
Yeah.
Now I'm playing Halo. I haven't reached too far in the campaign. I've been really stuck on the multiplayer, but I'm gonna do a couple hours of it tonight.
Oh, awesome, man! You're gonna love it. Just a bit of a warning for those watching. I have got captured footage of the Halo campaign. There's not too many spoilers there, but if you don't want to see any spoilers at all, probably avert your eyes and just use your ears. So let's get into the week's topics. First one, we've been talking about a fair bit, the Unreal 5 Matrix Awakens tech demo. It's amazing. I played it today, and it is amazing. It's an extremely bright future for this generation, especially with Unreal 5 being used with Hellblade 2. I did notice a little bit of aliasing and a little bit of pop-in, but you've got to assume that it was hastily thrown together. So, it's not the refined experience that you can expect from a full-featured AAA game. But as I said, the future looks extremely bright, not just for gaming, but for lower-budget series. Like The Mandalorian uses Unreal Engine for all of its technical special effects. And things are looking infinitely better this generation. Did you get a chance to play this one, Umbra? Are you playing it now?
Yeah, I am. That's what gave me the delay just now. But the game is, it's ridiculous. I underestimated because I saw a few people sharing a link, like video clips or whatever, or pictures online on Twitter. And man, it doesn't know justice. I know that Twitter compresses things, but you have to see it for yourself to see just how insane it looks. And I have the OLED, so I don't know how much greater it looks versus whatever 4K TV, but it's insane looking. And like I said, it looks like it could be, honestly, I know that they use Unreal Engine for movie CGI, but if this is the future of that, this is going to further that for sure. It looks ridiculous. It looks like it probably looks better than the CGI used for the original Matrix, honestly.
Yeah.
I would argue in some instances.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, like I said, you got to imagine it was pretty hastily thrown together. So you can expect something really special when you've got a dev team on it for 2-3 years. It's going to be pretty solid. Bushido, did you have a crack at the Matrix?
Absolutely. It was amazing because I thought the same thing. Like, this doesn't feel like something like I was saying earlier too. As a matter of fact, the Unreal Engine just came out last year? This time I think last year, and to have something done within a year, it just looks spectacular. It almost, and when I say almost, I really mean it. It almost looks like a movie. like it is an actual movie. Like it looks clean.
Mm. And the damage and the effects that they're throwing in there are pretty crazy as well, man.
Yeah,
I don't know if
yeah,
it smashed up any cars, man, but I was smashing up every car I could get my hands on just to see what it would do.
absolutely, absolutely.
Pete, do you have a go at it?
Yeah. I just had to go with it this morning. I wanted to try it out before the show. I wasn't expecting much, tech demos are never really my thing, but all I can say is wow. Wow, this is amazing. If you have a Series X, if you have a Series S, if you have a PS5, do yourself a favor, download it. It's 25 gigs. Try it out. It is absolutely amazing. The future of gaming is here. It is here. Oh, I mean, I just absolutely loved it. The level of detail, flying around in drone mode and looking into the windows of buildings and seeing the furniture in there, seeing the desks, the TVs. I actually just flew up into the sky and looked at the sun. Wow, what do they call it? The Lumen engine, the day-night cycle they've created. It's real life. I could actually imagine walking down, that city, checking out the street signs. You can almost feel the atmosphere. You can smell the smells. Amazing. Yeah, I'd highly recommend checking this out.
I did that too with the street signs. I went up to all of them to see if they'd get all blurry when you got up close. But man, they are crisp and clean. It is beautiful. Did you get a chance to have a look at this Xbox University?
No, it didn't. But after a sales pitch like that, I gotta check it out.
Man, it's out of control, eh? It's probably I was stunned when I saw the download size. I was like, oh, hang on a minute, man. We might have something here, eh? What'd you say? It was 25 gig. I looked at it. That's pretty big, man, for a tech demo. I was like, ooh, here we go, man. That to me was absolutely like you said, Jedi as well before the show. Like, what a perfect series to do that sort of a tech demo on as well. Out of control.
Yeah, The Matrix is the perfect movie to do it on, isn't it?
Especially when it's like blurring the lines between reality and fantasy, man. And that's what this tech demo does. It's fucking absolutely crazy. We also had the Game Awards last night, which is why it's been a bit of a scramble today to get everything together. So thanks for doing that before the podcast, guys. There's one thing that I wanted to talk about. We did have a bit of chat about this before the show, and it's something that I wanted to cover. Look, it was really good to see Jeff make mention of the issues surrounding Activision. I didn't think he was going to. He didn't mention them by name, but it was clearly a response to those companies' missteps. Look, and none of those companies' games. Some of them were nominated, but none of that particular company's games won any awards, and that might be possibly have something to do with it. But look, I wanted to give my opinion here. I am of the opinion that company is a 9,000 strong workforce, and not all of them should be punished for the misdeeds of a few. That's my personal stance on it. 110%, those that were involved, give them the boot out the door. But that's my take on it. And Pete, you had a bit of a different take or a similar take. I don't know what did you think about Jeff's making mention at the Game Awards?
Yeah, look, I understand where you're coming from, that all the developers that have worked so hard on these games, don't deserve to be packaged in with, the creeps of the world. And I think a stronger stance needed to be taken. At the end of the day, management is in control of all these things, and I think they should have just been banned entirely from the Game Awards. Yes, they didn't win any awards, but I don't think they deserve to be there, that just to show that, this will not be tolerated in our community. I don't like all the mentioning of it. I'd prefer that it wasn't, there at all. I'm of the view that you should treat everybody how you wish to be treated. It is as simple as that. I don't think that we didn't need to give this kind of stuff oxygen. I think it just gives the keyboard warriors of the world more ammunition. very negative take. I don't really like talking about this kind of stuff. You know, we're here for gaming. So yeah, unfortunate that we have to talk about this kind of stuff.
Yeah. Look, definitely understand that take. That's a fair call. Umbra.
Yeah, I'm more of the mind of where you're at with it. I don't mind him calling it out. I think, I'm pretty sure more people were looking for him to do it since his voice is so big in the gaming community and what he represents. And reprimanding such a major billion-dollar corporations such as Activision, when you still have Bobby Kotick a part of the background board. There we go. Having him still there, it sends a different message versus you actually coming out there to distance yourself from what him and his company have allowed. But I do agree with you where the few should not, be responsible to punish everyone. So because there's so many other people who had nothing to do with that. So because of that, I wouldn't want everybody to be have their games withdrawn that they worked so hard on as well.
Yeah. Look, I'd agree with that, man. It's that if I was a developer and I had nothing to do with it, that would hurt me. That would definitely hurt me. Uni, did you have an opinion on this, mate? Or
Well, I see both sides. I can see how you'd want some type of action, but also how people that had nothing to do with it actually suffers. And there's not a 100% win-win in this one. So unfortunately, like I really don't like. I'm not leaning in any way. Like I said, I see from both sides, so I get it.
yeah, it is a tough one to approach, man. And I understand Keely's stance on it, and it must be hard to have someone on the board, and it takes years to throw together, or a year at least to throw together that game show. So it'd be pretty hard to pull him off the board. But I get what you're saying, Umber, as well. He probably should just have done it. Bushido, what do you reckon?
I'm a little of what Uni said, except I'm more of an extremist. I don't like men that take advantage of their position and harass women, like not even a little bit. So
Yep.
the minute it happens, I'm chopping heads. I
Mm-hmm.
don't, I wouldn't tolerate it. I have to show immediately that this can't be tolerated. And it went on for too long. It went on for way too long. But so I think though, if it's me as Jeff Keighley, I'm getting him off the board anyway. I mean, he's just a board member. He's just going to say yes or no. So I'm not worried about him. I'm worried about what's going to be the stigma from my show going forward in the future. And then the first stance he took, I thought was stupid. But the second stance, of course, after the outrage, of course, that was good for him to do. But yeah, I'm more aggressive. I'm
A
just
bit
not.
too little, too late.
No, well, y- yeah. Yeah, it is a little. It feels like that for me, that it wasn't enough done, because Peter said, I think it sends a mixed message that you still have them on the board, but at the same time you don't even speak out about Activision itself. I'm about naming names. I ain't all that about that obligatory stuff. I'm about no, this company and this person, because if you don't shame these people, they're going to continue to do what they do.
I agree.
Yeah. Look, I agree with that as
I
well.
agree.
And
I think a line in the sand needed to be drawn.
I don't want this in gaming. I don't think any of us want to see any of this type of shit in gaming. This is not what gaming's about. Gaming is for everyone. Like you said, Pete,
Yeah.
gaming is for everyone. And no one should feel like they can't come into this gaming space because of what someone else is doing to or around them. That to me is just not fucking on. Not at all. Not even a little
And I
bit.
do feel bad for the dev that worked hard on a game and it can't be presented because you're screwing up. It's not my fault that this has happened. It's your fault.
Yeah.
So I do feel for them for that.
Yeah, absolutely, man. And
Yep, absolutely.
and they shouldn't, they shouldn't have to feel like their jobs are under threat is another thing.
Right.
I'm not really down with that. Don't buy, COD because of what happened in the background. Because, it might be 20 people, that misbehaved, but there's 9,000 employees there. That's a lot of people whose jobs are on the line because of, a few dickheads, basically. So, yeah, I don't subscribe to that, but I definitely think swift, decisive action should have been taken by Activision, and it wasn't, and it still hasn't, and it needs to be. But yeah, hopefully there's a bit of a resolution. But anyway, moving on to something a bit more positive, eh? That was a bit dark.
Please.
Bit of darkness to start the show. Jedi loves that. He loves this shit. Well, there's a fair bit to talk about because we had the Game Awards. You can't call them the VGAs anymore, apparently, but I'm still gonna. And there was a lot of games. The first one that popped out of the gate was Hellblade 5. Unreal Engine 5, man. That looked crazy. I was a little bit disappointed that we didn't see the combat system because I know that's been fully rebuilt. It's supposed to be a lot more brutal, a lot more realistic, and I really wanted to see that. I don't think we saw that. But graphically, it looked absolutely amazing, and it looks like, look, I'm going to call it the PlayStation killer. It looks like a PlayStation killer to me. Xbox University, you probably would have watched this, yeah?
Yes, I did. It looks amazing. I think Unreal Engine 5 is the true next gen tech that I think this generation started like a year or two too early. If you want to be real about it, because seeing how different Unreal Engine 5 is from 4, and like the different tools and stuff like Creation Engine 2 and stuff for the next gen consoles, it's kind of sad. Like Halo Infinite, the ring looks amazing, but like damn, how would the ring look if it was just the Series X exclusive? You know, like. But like I said, I did love it, man. You know, Senua. Like I said, I really love Hellblade 1. Like it had an amazing story. You had to like really like listen to. That's one of the type of games that you can't be doing anything else other than being in that game because it's so immersive with the storytelling and the audio file and all of that. Like, so when I see Hellblade 2, the only thing that made me mad was that they still didn't show you like a date or like say a year or something. Say 2023, 4, like
Yeah.
something like. Because
Yeah.
like I said, it looks so great, but yeah.
Yeah, absolutely, man. I wanted a date, man. I wanted a date and combat. And that first game was out of control good, man. Like the way that they did the sound in that game, it just put you right in her shoes, man. And you felt a little bit crazy, you know what I mean? Because that's kind of what it's about. It's about those mental health issues. And yeah, they nailed that first game, but the combat was a little bit lacking, eh? You'd have to say. But
yeah, I didn't have enough in it.
I don't know about that, Uni. I don't mind them not giving a date. I like this new Microsoft that is not putting pressure on their studios to get a date out there. I think give them all the time they need. Hellblade proved itself. Very small studio. That's the storytelling of that game is absolutely top notch. Some of the best in the industry. Give them all the time they need. Obviously, they know what they're doing. Look at the trailer. It is absolutely amazing. I didn't mind the combat in Hellblade 1. I actually really, really enjoyed it.
It was really basic, though. It felt pretty basic, man. And I think that was the only complaint from that entire game. Looked amazing, sounded amazing, story was amazing. Just that one little thing, the combat could have been a little bit better, though. You got to admit that. Could have been a little bit
I can understand that, but it's also a small studio, and that's what they were focusing on. They were focusing on telling a story about, mental illness, about psychosis, and wow, did they do that? The way you have to play that game with headphones on. With the Dolby Atmos, so you're hearing voices in the back of your head and, left and right. It's just absolutely perfectly done. Absolutely perfectly done. Coming to this trailer that they just released, did you guys see the motion capture? Wow. Did you see the fire? The reflections of the water are just amazing. Unreal Engine 5 is, the shit. I cannot wait for this game. Best looking game of the show. Absolutely stole the show at the Game Awards. Congratulations to that studio. Congratulations to Microsoft for picking them up. I cannot wait to see more.
I'll go a step further and say it's the best looking game I've ever seen. When I saw that, and I'm talking about fully realized game. Now, this Matrix demo is giving it a run for his money, but as far as an actual fully realized game, I thought that was CGI we were watching until I saw her grabbing the spears. I'm like, no, that's gameplay. And then they came out and confirmed it afterward. I was just like, look how far we've come. It's like when you got to sit back,
Yes.
you know, you have to start questioning things. That's when you know you've seen too much. Like, we are well past that
Yes.
uncanny valley point now. It's like, damn, it looks insane how great that game looks, and it's only going to look better. Like they have like a full year probably before they even release that game. Maybe let's say a half a year to a year. I don't think it may release next year. I'm not sure if it will or not. It looks like it's pretty much a certainty, but they're going to only polish it even more. It's going to look even better than what it's looking here. So,
Yep.
I mean, man, I'm just blown away. I mean, like Uni pointed out too, Unreal Engine 5 is just going to be the future. I can only imagine what other engines are going to kind of like step up to try to, you know, give it some competition. But I mean, Epic has a winner on their hands again. It's just insane
Yes.
to see how great a game can look in the Unreal Engine 5.
Yeah, and the ease of use, man. And Uni was bang on when he said this generation came too early, man. It absolutely did. The tools weren't there. Nothing was ready for it. I guess as Xbox guys on Twitter, we copped a fair bit of flack for that too. But knowing that that's in the future and then starting to see it realized with Hellblade 2 and demos like this tech demo for the Matrix it's pretty exciting, man. I'm excited.
The series consoles are built for the future. You know, they are future proofed. And every generation starts a little bit slow.
Yeah.
I don't think. Yeah, yes, Xbox came in a little bit hot, but don't worry about the series consoles. They are absolutely future proofed.
Yeah, even the S.
So it's only going to get better.
Even the S is a great console. I got one and it's out of control good. Like, yeah, I was super surprised. I didn't think much of the Series S. I just kept my mouth shut about it. But they're actually a really good console. Mr. Prosciutto, did you watch the Game Awards?
Of course.
What'd you think of Hellblade?
I thoroughly enjoyed the show. Hellblade to me was the biggest surprise because not that it was there, but it was the first thing shown. And then to see that CGI and see like more questions than answers I got. And I was kind of happy about it still because that just shows me that the game is more in depth than I thought.
And further along than we thought.
Yeah, I think so too. I think it's way further along than we thought. That's why what Umber said about a year or so, I'm with them. I don't think it's that far off. I do think that I don't think the generation came too soon, only because if it wasn't for me knowing about Unreal Engine 5, if it wasn't for that, then I would be along with that. But it just came out, and I'm impatient, and I want stuff now. Especially hardware.
So aren't we all, mate? Aren't we all?
Right. But yeah, I thought it looked gorgeous.
Oh man, think about Gears 5. Oh, sorry, 6. Gears 6 is going to look like that's going to be a next-gen console exclusive. And that is just going to look out of control.
5 looked great though too.
Do what?
Speaking of Gears 6, I just want to make this clear. You know that the Coalition helped work on this Matrix demo, by the way.
Oh, you kidding?
Imagine how insane Gears of War 6 is going to look.
Oh man, it's going to be so good.
I'm excited thinking about it.
That last generation when all we copped is all you got is Gears 5. It's like, well, Gears 5's pretty fucking good.
That's what I said.
Coalition is working on a game outside of Gears, though.
Yeah, a smaller game, yeah. Apparently, from what I heard. Right, so the other game that there's so many. We got so many to go through, but Wonder Woman. That's done by Monolith Studios. These are the guys that made Shadow of Mordor. And the one thing that makes me sad here, though, like it's good that IP is in the hands of a great studio, but it's kind of bad because it feels like we're not getting another Shadow of Mordor. I'm a little bit bummed about that, and I love that Nemesis system. That was wicked, especially in the second one. They really ramped it up for that one. And I'm kind of hoping that they're going to use it in the Wonder Woman.
Guess what? They just said Wonder Woman will have the Nemesis system.
They said it. Oh, wicked.
LA.
Yes.
Oh, wow.
What did they say?
Right.
What did they say? They say anything else?
I seen it in an article. It said about the Nemesis system, and I was like, how the hell did they get that dude? And now I didn't realize it was the same studio of Shadow of Mordor. So yeah, they're using it. Just Google it.
Wicked, wicked, man. That's good. That's good news. I don't know how they're going to implement that in the Wonder Woman game. Umbra, you excited? You excited for this? Or?
Oh, absolutely. At first, I was I saw them. I knew what it was immediately because we were actually in chat as we saw it, and me and Jedi posted it. But I saw them, the metal and costume. I'm like, oh, that's Wonder Woman. But at first, I was like, okay, okay, we'll see. And I saw Monolith attached, and I'm like, no, okay, wait, maybe we own something here. And even then, it never crossed my mind until we were talking, and Jedi pointed out that they had made the Lord of the Rings games, and I was like, no, this is going to be special then. So I have faith in them, and that Monolith, as I spoke before, are one of the reasons why I wanted Xbox so badly to get the WB games. They're one of the prime reasons. Them, NetherRealm, and of course Rocksteady. That's a crazy trio right there. So I have actually really good faith in this. I think it's going to be really good.
Yeah, absolutely, man. I would love it if they could get a hold of WB. If they got WB and Crystal Dynamics, I'd be happy, man. I'm already happy with Xbox, but that'd just make me happier. Xbox,
Absolutely.
Uni, are you keen for Wonder Woman? What do you think? Uni?
I don't mind. Wonder Woman is something I wasn't looking for, but now that it's here, I'm like, okay, let's see what they can do.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully they pull it off. She does have a lot of great backstory. She has the Greek, mythology and stuff like that. So hopefully they can spin it. Her father is Zeus, for Christ's sake. It can't be that hard to come up with a compelling story.
Yeah.
So let's see what they can do. Like, I always thought that she was a great character. The movies are hit or miss, so hopefully they can do that. Like, this is another reason, like what people were saying, they wanted the Xbox to buy WB, because that right there, that could have been your superhero exclusive game.
Yeah.
Right there.
Yeah.
But they don't own them, so we'll see.
Maybe one day. Hopefully they'll get WB. Bushido, what do you reckon? You keen for it?
I thought I was hyped. This is one of the few times, like, I don't fanboy over like games or feel nostalgia too often. But when I saw that, I was actually really excited. Like, oh man, I could see how this could work. With the lasso and her combat skills. I just was looking at everything that was possible and just was excited that it's finally happening. And then to see the Monolith was doing it, I was like, I don't know how they would incorporate the Nemesis system. I was just hoping. But man, was I hype. I still am. I still am pretty hype.
Yeah, I think we're all in agreement there. I think with Monolith attached, I think we got something special probably on the horizon there. So we'll see.
Yeah, I don't know if you guys remember, but one of our first shows, we started talking after the Wolverine trailer dropped. We were talking about what other superhero characters would we like to see, and on the top of my list was Wonder Woman. So yeah, I am hyped for this game. The sword and shield combat that they can use. The lasso. I think she's a great character with a great backstory that they could really delve into, much more so than they can with the movies. On top of that, to find out that Monolith involved, amazing studio. One of my favorite games of last generation was Shadow of Mordor. When that game came out, I wasn't sure about it. I thought it was just basically, a clone of the Assassin's Creed 2 engine, and it pretty much was, but then they built that Nemesis system on top of that, which they now outsourced. They've trademarked because it is just such a great system. Loving to hear. I didn't know Uni that they are definitely going to use the Nemesis system in that. Love to see how that's going to work. Yeah, this game I just have very, very, very high hopes. And yeah, it's in good hands. It's in good hands, and I can't wait.
Yeah, man, really good hands. A combat, traversal, story, the whole lot. That whole Mordor series was out of control. Good, man, out of control.
Now the only thing we have to worry about and wonder about is that are they going to give her an invisible jet to fly around?
And
We got to fly around an invisible jet.
and what is she wearing?
Exactly.
Are we gonna be able to customize the character? I'm just questions. Bikinis. What do we got?
Listen, it looks like love was he said get good, mate. I spawn tanks now.
Those are questions that keep me up at night.
Oh, Pete, this one's for you all the way. This one is for you. Star Wars game Eclipse. So what I've been able to find out about it, it's a multi-character, multi-narrative game. So you're following more than just one character throughout the game. It's been developed by Quantic Dream, so that's kind of one of their hallmarks. They made Detroit Become Human, but this is set in the High Republic era, so that era just before the first new movie. I can't remember the name of it. Pete would know it. But it's apparently supposed to be a third-person action adventure. I don't know. I was having a look at it today, and I'm kind of hoping it's got ship-to-ship combat because they had the spaceships in there, and saber combat because they had sabers in there. Pete, you've got to be hyped for this for sure.
Yeah, look, I mean, it's a Star Wars game. You can tell by my gamer tag that I love Star Wars. So yeah, I cannot wait. Look, I'm really interested to see what Quantic Dream can do. They Heavy Rain was such a different type of experience. I remember way back in the days, Xbox actually had the ability to buy Quantic Dream Studios, and they went to Microsoft with Heavy Rain, and they said, have a look at this game. We're really interested in forming a partnership with Microsoft. It was at the time when Microsoft was, pushing a lot more third-party deals. And Microsoft turned them down because there was one particular scene that showed a little bit of they had a little bit of controversy, and so Microsoft stepped away from it, and Sony picked them up, and Heavy Rain and Detroit Becoming Human and Beyond Two Souls all became PlayStation exclusives. But just the way they think about their games, the way they do their games, is very different. I don't know how that's going to fit into a Star Wars universe. I heard this is very early in development, so we don't know much. I love the High Republic era of Star Wars. I think there's so many, different storylines you could draw on, and so many different characters that you could, approach. It's just, look, really interested to see more. The quality of the character design and the world building of Quantic Dream is amazing. The choice and consequences factors of their narrative stories is, I think, done really well. But I don't know how their combat and their quick time events that they usually like to have in their games is going to work with the Star Wars game, especially after Jedi Fallen Order. We really want to have that lightsaber combat, so, yeah, interested to see which direction they take that game. Will it be, completely narrative driven? Will it be quick time events? Or will they completely remake, the way they go about making their games and have a combat system in there? So, definitely intrigued. Need to see more.
You said it all. Umbra, are you into Star Wars? You big in Star Wars, mate?
I am. I'm a big fan of Star Wars. Probably after Halo would probably be my favorite, lore, I would say. But yeah, absolutely. When I saw it and the guy drumming, I'm like, what's going on here? But then it expanded and you start to see little Yoda in the background, or at least one of his species. And I'm like, okay, Star Wars.
Oh,
And
it's
then I did
definitely
not
Yoda.
expect to see.
Oh, that was
Yeah.
definitely Yoda. That was in the
Yeah,
Jedi
what's him,
Council
huh?
room. Yep,
Yeah.
yep,
Yeah,
yep.
okay.
Overlooking
I thought it
Coruscant.
was, but I
Yeah,
wasn't
definitely.
sure.
Yep,
Yeah,
yep,
and the
definitely in the.
Coruscant.
Yep.
Yeah, it looked dope. I like the thought of where it could go. But at first, I thought it may have been the Mandalorian. Like I thought that was like the confirmation of that rumor from way back. But
Me
then
too.
after they showed, yeah, right, it's what it seemed like. But when they showed Yoda, I was like, okay, it's not that. And then to see Quantic Dream as the developer, I'm like, okay. So now I'm not overly familiar with Quantic Dream because I hadn't played Detroit Become Human, although I will get it soon, and I've heard nothing but good things about it. But from what I understand, it's somewhat of a role playing, because you said it won role playing a game of the year, Pete.
Yes, it did. It did. It did. Yep.
And so I assumed it's somewhat of a kind of a point and click kind of thing in a sense. So because of that, I figured, would this be more of the same of that in that vein, or would they actually go all out? But I heard that it's actually a third person actioner, so I'm actually excited to see what they can do. And I think it's
I
obviously
also
probably
heard.
going to be. Sorry, I think it's also
Sorry,
probably
mate,
going to
you
be an
go.
original. It's going to be an original story, so I'm excited to see what they can do there.
Yeah, I heard that they're building a brand new engine for this game as well, so they're not.
Oh, we lost Pete. Pete's back.
They're,
You're back,
sorry,
Pete.
they're not. Yeah, they're not using the same engine that they used for any of their other games. They will be building a brand new engine for this game, and that does give me hope because, like I said, I do want them to work on their combat.
Yeah, absolutely. Bushido, you keen for Eclipse? I'm pretty excited personally. I'm a Star Wars guy, so
I was, and like I said, I'm gonna really sound like a fanboy today. I was excited to see that. I want to watch the trailer over and over because it's so many little things that just kept going by. And I grew up on Star Wars. It just is one of those things that when I grew up in as a young guy that you grew up watching. You had Star Wars, Wars, what's the other one? Godzilla, stuff like that. So like I love everything sci-fi. But to see that and then to see them doing it, I'm kind of glad because I want to see something different. I want to see somebody, do something that hasn't been done before. And if it's sort of like what's the other one we had? Nice Old Republic, the old way it was done. And then here they did have a new engine. Like I'm pretty excited to see what they're gonna do.
yeah, it's an interesting studio to hand it over to for sure. I thought it was going to be the Ubisoft one, which I'm pretty excited for. Xbox University, you into Star Wars? You there, Uni?
Yeah, I'm here. I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm into Star Wars to a point. Listen, I am dying for a Jedi Fallen Order 2. Like I played it this year and it was just amazing. I love that game. And the second Star Wars, I want something from the Mandalorian, but Star Wars been going downhill. I'm sorry to tell y'all, man. I don't care what y'all say, man.
No,
Like
you're right.
with that,
Yeah, you're
huh?
right.
No, you're right, mate. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah,
The Mandalorian brought it back, but that
we bring God
latest
to the
trilogy.
Mandalorian, man. This is
Yeah.
the way, man. Because
Yeah,
Right.
that latest trilogy isn't Star Wars, if you ask me, mate. That's not
Yeah.
Star Wars.
Yeah, man. That's why I'm saying. I'm hoping that they do something with these TV shows or something. Because I love Star Wars, man. Like I always tell people, my first game I got with
Yeah, just keep
Yeah,
Kathleen
and-
Kennedy completely away from this project, and I think we might be all right.
Yeah, like my first game I got with my 64 was Star Wars Episode 1 Pod Racer. I remember
Yes,
Yeah, I remember
yes, that was a good game. I love that game.
That's a classic.
The graphics of that game for the time were just amazing, weren't they? It still stands up today.
Crazy because I thought the game was trash, but that's the only game I had, so I played the hell out of it.
Nice,
man.
nice, mate.
That's like me, man. I only had the one game. I got the system and I was allowed to have one game a year, man. So whatever game I picked, that game is what I was playing for a whole fucking year. So you want it to be good. We got sport with Game Pass now. We got sport with Game Pass.
Don't you love Game Pass? Don't you just love it?
Find that when I was
I
a
do.
kid. Find that when I
Yeah,
was a
the
kid.
kids
Man.
of today just don't know how good they've got it.
I would never talk, but I would never talk bad about Game Pass because I'm like, I think about all the kids out there that
Yep.
grow up like you don't have like kids don't choose their circumstances. Like you don't, like God don't look at you and say, "Yo, you want to grow up in the projects? Yo, you want to grow up
Yeah.
in this what in jail? What do you know what I'm saying? Like the difference is like I hope that Game Pass can actually give a lot of people that are less fortunate, a lot of joy
What's that
because like I
unit?
said now is because now you can literally say that kids have more games than they can play, and we all wish that we had that when we were growing up. So
Yeah, man.
love
Yeah.
that
That's why I
along.
can't stand when people have a go at Game Pass because they think that everybody's rich and everyone can afford these $70 games. Well, no, you don't know what people's circumstances are.
Yeah, these
Game
kids, these
Pass
kids
has
don't work for
changed
themselves.
the
If
game.
you're 12 years old and you want to play some game, you can't go to mom, like well, most moms, and be like, "Yo, buy me the $70 game 12 times for the year." Come
No.
on, man.
Yep.
Like,
No.
Yep.
yeah,
Yep.
like I said,
Yeah.
the Game Pass is a heaven sent, man. And like I said,
I was
even
lucky to get one for my birthday, maybe one for Christmas,
I said, even though I can afford to buy my games, like I always think of the less fortunate because, like, I just don't understand people, man.
Oh, that's it,
Yeah,
man.
go
I
ahead.
I could afford to buy my games, but that wasn't always the case, man. That wasn't always the case. And if I had Game Pass back in the day, man, when I was, I don't know, you guys we call it Homes West housing, but when I was living in the projects, man, that would have been awesome. That would have been great. But I you can't. It made me who I am today. We had heaps of mates. They had a game. He had a game. You go around to each other's houses and play it. Like,
Right.
yeah, man. Yeah. But Game Pass would have changed that game for everyone. And it has. And it has. So, Umbra, did we go to you about Star Wars? We did, didn't we?
Yeah.
All right. So here's one that's a bit contentious. Saints Row. That got a bit of a kick in the ass when it released, and you can kind of understand why. No one wants to play privileged college kids running around trying to take down gangs, but man, it looked way better, man. It looked heaps better. It might even.
Yeah.
I was watching it today. I rewatched it because we were talking about it, and this might be that fill that hole, that GTA 6 hole. I think that GTA 5's got a bit of an issue, man. If this comes out and it is as good as I think it might be, I think that they've got a bit of work to do. What do you reckon, Umbra? Is there a chance?
No, I'm agreeing with you. It could be that GTA, or excuse me, Rockstar themselves finally release a GTA 6, or at least tease it at E3. So we don't know for sure. I don't think they're going anywhere anytime soon, but this would possibly give the Saints Row some foothold because that niche, that genre is missing right now. And people have to be tired of the 13th year of GTA 5. That's pretty ridiculous at this point. Well, it's been way too long. But absolutely, the game looks really good. And I was one of those people who like one of the detractors when I first saw the whole, I don't know what you want to call them, the old yuppie looking thing with the Saints Row characters. Like, what is this? But if you played part 1 and 2, it was basically they were in the streets. They were like thugged out. And then I see these like college kids like, what is this supposed to be? Because this is not Saints Row, But I would say, even despite that, going around that, the game looks really, really fun. It looks less visually great than I thought it was going to look at first, based off the images I saw. But man, it looks very fun. I'm actually excited for it now.
Yeah, man. Yeah, it looked pretty solid. What do you think, Jedi?
It looks better. But
Yeah.
look, I mean, I'm not gonna forget what they showed before. They've made all the women ugly, basically. They've done it for a reason. They've given them that haircut. Gotta love that. I still think the gameplay is going to be fun. I still think the game's going to be fun. And they showed that yesterday. You know, they showed the other side of it. They showed the gangs and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, I need to see more. I need to see more. I'm still not sold. Yeah, I think it could be, you know, College Kids United. We'll see where they go from it.
What about you, Bushido? You think the girls are ugly?
I gotta look at them again. I didn't.
All
If
women
it
are
didn't
beautiful
in
in
my
their
head,
own
maybe
way.
not then, because usually that'd be the first thing that pop in my head. So
Mhm.
I guess if not, I
All
don't know.
women are beautiful, Bushido.
What'd you say?
All women are beautiful in their own way, Bushido.
Yeah, that's true. And their own special way. So, I again was excited because I'm not a Saints Row fan, but like you said, that looks like a game that would scratch that GTA itch for me. And from what I saw, I actually was pretty happy with it. Like you're gonna hear this most the cast, man, because I really liked the whole thing. But yeah, I thought it looked good. I'm
Yeah,
interested in it now.
yeah, I wasn't too interested, man, when they showed that. Look, let's be honest, that last trailer was shit. So, you know, this one it definitely kicked it up a notch, and I really do think it might fill that hole for people that are looking for that GTA 6. Because man, that thing has been flogged to death, man. And I just, yeah, it's really time for a GTA 6, and maybe these guys are going to do it for them. A Plague's Tale 2. I got to be honest. Played the first one for about an hour, got bored, turned it off.
Watch what you watch what you start. Watch what you
Oh,
say.
wow, you turned it off. Wow, what is wrong with you? Don't you know what a good game is when you play it, mate?
It's slander.
Wow,
For that
I got, I
that
got,
game is amazing.
I got to be honest, but look, the game was beautiful. I just
abandoned in the Discord.
I got bored. I got bored. What can I say? I've got a short attention span.
I ain't killing up rats.
ADD.
I'm killing up rats.
Wow.
I want combat.
Listen, you get bored with great stories, don't ever watch a masterpiece, man. Don't ever watch any type of Disney movie.
It is a masterpiece.
I'll give
It
it a
is a
chance.
masterpiece of a game.
I'll give it another chance. I promise.
It is a
I don't
masterpiece.
that often, but I think I might have to agree.
Other than Hugo, bitch ass, the game was a masterpiece.
Oh my
Yep.
god, that's a separate podcast all by itself. He got on my nerves. I was like, can I leave him in somebody's hair?
But like I have the surround sound, that them gorgeous what you call it, Steel Series 9Xs, right? And the set like it has the that Dolby Atmos, whatever the case may be, 3D audio. And when I tell you playing that game with that 3D audio, it's so great. Like you can hear like the rat coming over the right shoulder, or whatever. Like you can hear, and with the atmosphere, like I told them, the atmosphere was so thick on this TV, on my TV, because my TV is huge, 75-inch. The atmosphere is so thick, right?
Flex.
Yeah, absolutely beautiful. The only thing I didn't like about that game is the fact that the HDR implementation of it, I think, was a little bit off. When I put HDR on, the colors seemed to be washed out a little bit. I think
characters, world building.
Yeah, but in terms of story, the narrative story, the character building,
I want to see
amazing.
Xbox say we acquired a Solo so badly.
Me too. Yes.
I agree.
100% agree.
Of any studio that you can get, please get that one. Please,
Yes.
like that one.
They haven't.
They do
proven themselves over. Yep.
Yeah,
Flight Simulator and Plague Tale. Yeah.
Imagine their next game after Plague Tale, like if that's an Xbox exclusive, like come on,
It is.
Bro.
It is
like,
it is an Xbox exclusive. Plague's Tale 2 is an Xbox exclusive.
No, it's coming out of Game Pass.
No, it's only on
It's
Xbox. Only on Xbox.
I don't know if it's an exclusive. I think it might be timed. We'll have to wait and
That's
see.
what I was thinking.
I don't even think it's time.
I think it's actually released at the same time, but it's launching directly into Game Pass. It looks like.
Yes.
Yeah, so
Yes.
you just
okay. That's still hot though.
Yeah. I know. I mean, amazing. And Another
I don't care
another
what you get to play.
narrative-driven game that people have been screaming out for, coming straight into Game Pass. Cannot wait for that. The character building that they
can't
did in
wait.
the first
Yeah.
game was just absolutely amazing. The world that they build was absolutely beautiful.
Boring.
Very, very emotional story.
Yeah.
Not boring at all. Very heavily
Like some
invested
people
in
say.
those characters. Very well done. Yeah, absolutely loved every minute of that
If you
game.
don't have an OLED
One of the things
TV
I like about it,
and
yeah,
some surround sound, don't play that game. You don't deserve to play that game. That a Hellblade. You don't deserve it. Leave that game alone.
with better tech, huh? But I was gonna say one of the things I took away from playing a Plague Tale, is that it didn't overstay its welcome. Like Asobo, you could tell that they just know how to make a great game, and
Yes.
with such a small team that they had to do that and to turn out something that even challenged maybe AAA on how visually great
I
it
love
looked.
Psychonauts, but that shit stayed too long at the end. I was like, damn, this shit ain't gonna end.
I didn't, you know what? I heard people complain and say that, but I didn't feel that way. Maybe because I was like so into it, but I've heard other people say that, so you might be right. But with a Plague Tale, it just felt like it never felt like it overstayed its welcome. It felt good. The character movement felt good, and you know how sometimes when you're moving around with and you're escorting a character, it can get really annoying in games.
Yes.
I never really felt that in this game. That's one thing I'll give it to. So it got real fantastical at the end, and you all know what I'm talking about with the whole, the rat thing. I don't want to give anything away for those who haven't played it, but I didn't expect it to go that route. But I was like, okay, well, it is what it is. I'll accept that. But
in my book.
yeah, it was just I thought it was real creative, and I thought it was a really fun game. And seeing the trailer
Her
for part
name
2,
was enough to make me smile in the trailer with Amicia. I'm like, oh
That was
shit,
it.
Amicia. Yeah.
Yeah, Amicia.
I mean,
Yeah,
that was cool.
looks like something's going on with her. Definitely going to build on her character, I think, in this game. So yeah, really looking forward to that.
I hope we just leave Hugo in a cage and then come back for him at the end of the game, bro.
Are they? What I want to know is are they going to have a decent combat system from the get go? Because that's kind of what turned me off. If I don't have good combat from the start, I kind of get bored. Like, I'm going to give it a chance. I'm not saying it's a bad game.
No. Don't you dare be changing our story to the game. Like, no. Like,
there aren't enough stealth games out there.
Like, listen, Telltale was so amazing and it didn't have no combat. Like, I love certain games, every game. I love combat games, of course, Halo and stuff like that. But there are games that, to me, should focus more on, like, look at that as Dust Falls. That looks like an interactive Telltale type movie type stuff. And like I said, every game. The problem I have with PlayStation is that every game is a certain genre or whatever. But if you mix it up, I don't mind. Like, I don't mind having an episodic type Telltale type story driven game with not real combat, but just focus on the story because the story's amazing. It feels like you're reading a novel. It feels like that same feeling you get when you read a good audiobook or whatever the case may be. That's why I love the Telltale.
I think your point is that you like games like this to have a strong narrative more so than the combat being the focus. I agree with that.
There's a lot of different games because some games you just want to kill. You don't want to be battling zombies like this is shit is Back for Blood. Like some games like Telltale,
right?
Like they give you like 10 seconds to make a decision, and you like 10 whole seconds. Like, but it's like, but the decisions are so heavy though. Like so, especially when you're playing it with someone, it's amazing, man.
Yeah, I would also add to
those
that.
chase
As far as the
sequences-
combat,
sorry,
I
you
think
go,
it
mate.
made sense. I would say it made sense. So I hear where you're coming from, Risk, but I would say it's because this girl was just torn from her home, in part 1. She had no idea how to fight. So even fighting the people that she did fight in there, the way they had to fight was a miracle in itself. So that you have to look at it narratively.
Any other way. Yep.
Exactly. Narratively, it made sense for her not to be a great combatant.
Yeah,
That's what, and I mean, it's a stealth game, and those chase
That's a good
sequences
part.
when Amicia's holding Hugo's hand and being chased by these big brute men, all decked out in their armor, you actually felt that fear. They conveyed that so well. It's something that a lot of games don't get right, and you just you really feel that big sister trying to take care of her little brother who was just so, small and innocent and
That's kind of going to make me.
fragile.
That's going to make me feel like I'm back in prison, man. I don't like that feeling at all.
You idiot.
Bushido, well, you're obviously a Plague's Tale fan as well. I did not know that I was what I was stepping into tonight. You're a Plague's Tale fan, yeah?
Yeah, I thought the like I said too, I would love to see a Plague's Tale 3 be an Xbox exclusive. Like, I can't see why they wouldn't want to acquire Sobo. I know you can work out deals, but that's one I would like to see as part of the family. I thought that the first Plague's Tale was fantastic. I was with you too. In the beginning, it was boring. I was like, oh man, is this going to be a chore? But as it started going along, the story changed and the combat changed, and then I got into it. And then I got into the whole stealth thing, and the game is really, really well done for an indie studio or a small studio, and done with less. You know what I mean?
I'll admit I didn't give it a chance. I'll freely admit right now I didn't give it enough of a chance. I don't even think I played an hour of it. I just like, bleh.
Hey, well, don't worry. I've done it to games before too, and had to come back because everybody else was like, nah, you gotta keep going. I'm like, I don't want to. I go back late. It's like, oh, all right, it was good.
Yeah. Now that I've heard this, no one's ever said this to me before.
Grandpa.
Because of uni, I'm going to go back and play this game 110%. It's in my backlog.
Grandpa Bushido.
Well, it's on Game Pass, mate. So there's nothing stopping you.
One that's got me super hyped though, super hyped. Crossfire X, man. I've been waiting for this game. Remedy is a sick studio, and to hear them doing an FPS, man, I was pretty stoked. This could be the Call of Duty or Battlefield killer, and we need one. We definitely need one. We need a AAA shooter that can compete in this space, man. And I'm super excited that it's got a release date, Feb 10, man. I cannot wait to play this game. It looks absolutely fucking shit hot. Bushido, are you an FPS man?
Yes, I remember when I was growing up, I hated FPS games, and the game that got me into FPS games was Halo, and I started. Now, don't get me wrong, I played them, but I didn't want to because I didn't like FPS games. But now, oh man, I can't get enough of them now, especially with Wasteland, not Wasteland. Sheesh, what's the other one?
I know you like the
one that's from Bethesda.
Yeah.
So I looked at this game, and when I saw the armor, I saw this last year. The armor that dude's wearing. No. And Crossfire X.
Crossfire X. Yep.
Yeah, it's like a secret not undercover, a secret weapon type thing. And
I know exactly what you're talking about. Yeah, you just.
And the first thing I thought of Crisis, man. I remember the first time I played Crisis 2, I was blown away. Like, how come people don't talk about this game? And I get that same vibe. I'm actually pretty stoked for that one too. Was it February? It's coming out?
Yeah, man.
Yeah, February 10th. Release date, finally.
Yeah. Gonna be
well. To be honest, the only game in February I care about on Game Pass is Shredders. It should have been coming out December. They moved it. I'm so pissed. But fine. Like, I need a good snowboarding game, bro. And one I don't have to pay for, even better.
You said that's the only game in February?
No.
February's Elden Ring for me. But
I'm going to play Elden Ring. No. I'm talking about on Game Pass. That's what I said.
Yeah. Yep.
I'm still going to play Forbidden West and Elden Ring, but on Game Pass, I'm talking about, I'm looking at Shredders in February, man. Like,
February is stacked. We've got Horizon, Forbidden West, we've got Elden Ring, we've got Crossfire X, Shredders.
Something about extreme sports that make me I don't understand why in the game industry they killed all of the great extreme sports game like Dave Merritt BMX. Tony Hawk is a shell of itself. It's going to hell. Like amp snowboarding don't exist. 1080 snowboarding don't exist. SSX freaky don't exist. Like, I'm like, bro, what is going on, bro? Like, you can't tell me nobody don't like snowboarding games or skating games or BMX games. Like, come on, bro. Like, give it a chance. That's why I hate when people keep bad talking Gamecast because I'm like, you see, Trinity is launching into Game Pass. They could do games like that. They could just concentrate on people playing their game instead of trying to sell millions. You know what I'm saying? So hopefully we can get back some of those great games that we lost from yesteryear. And like I said, like Game Pass gives you games like 12 minutes or episodic games like As Dust Falls and stuff like that, like different stuff that we have never experienced. Because that's what it's all about. I don't care if it's a friendship, a relationship, a gaming, your hobby, or whatever. You always want to try stuff that you never did before because that's what makes it. Like I don't care if you like food, try different food. If you like weed, try different weed. If you like movies, try different movies. Like at the end of the day, you gotta get that new experience. Because one time you tried your hook. I used to hate horror movies, but that's because after watching Aliens as a kid and Tremors was like the scariest shit ever. I didn't even want to go to the bathroom at night. But after watching those, Tremors had me all messed up, right? Like I was literally traumatized. But after like now when I got older, I watched some horror movies, and guess what? I'm addicted to those now. Like I can't. I watch horror movies all the goddamn time, and I be laughing at them. It's not even a big deal. So like I said, man, just try different things, man, and that's why I love Game Pass, bro.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, I mean, it's amazing, isn't it? And it's great that Crossfire finally has a release date. Look, I mean, Crossfire has been absolutely huge in Asia for a very, very long time. I think Crossfire originally released in 2007, and it's got one of the highest player counts for all multiplayer games ever. I mean, this game is massive, and to add on to that, the fact that Remedy are going to be doing a single player narrative experience for it just adds to it. I mean, games don't last that long in the multiplayer space unless they are special. Tactical based shooter, something other than that, than Call of Duty. Cannot wait to see more. I think Remedy will do a really, really good job in the single player story. I don't think it'll be that long. I think it'll just be enough for you to, learn the mechanics and to draw you into the multiplayer, which is what this game is really about. What do you think about Crossfire, Umbra? Did you like what you saw, and are you keen?
My thing for me, I did like what I saw, but the thing for me is a game cannot just have a multiplayer component and expect me to get it. That's the issue I have with Battlefield, as you all heard me speak on before. So that they actually got Remedy to make a single player campaign that piqued my interest a lot. But like you pointed out too, it's probably only going to be about maybe 5 to 6 hours long. More than likely. Maybe because I believe that's about the average length of a Call of Duty campaign nowadays. So I would let's say 10 hours. So that's okay. But I would have to wait for it to go on sale before I would probably get into it. It does look really good. I will give it that. It looks much, much better than I thought it was going to look by the time it'll release. So I've just actually looked at a trailer again while I'm listening to you guys. So I'm excited for the campaign. I have very little doubt that I won't be touching the multiplayer part, so that's why I think I'll wait for a sale for it. But it does look good.
Right, it's not Crossfire X on Game Pass? I thought it was on Game Pass.
I don't know.
Is going to be. No, I think the multiplayer will be. But the
multiplayer will. The game itself, the single player won't be
separate. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
You sure?
The guy, because the guy who did the Arkham series, Arkham Knight, he's doing the story. I was actually pretty hyped when I heard it too.
Yeah. Speaking of that, I believe that same guy worked on, or at least one of them worked on Halo, right? Now that you mentioned that.
Oh, you got me. That's hype to hear though, but
yeah. But yeah, I think the multiplayer is basically a free-to-play kind of situation, and it'll be in Game Pass. But the single player will be, have to pay for it. It's basically like Halo is.
I just hope it looks
Okay.
better than the beta. Ugh.
Yep, it does though. From what I saw in the trailer, it definitely looks much better.
Yeah, I'm
Oh
just
no,
looking
not the
online
campaign.
now at
The whole
650 million players have played Crossfire X. There definitely is something
Wow.
there. Really looking forward for the Western audience to get into this game. That amount of players for that long, it really does say something to me. It says that they've got something pretty special. So
Right.
Yeah,
yeah,
I'm hoping it kills COD. Like, we need something to kill COD. Honestly, I'm sick of that game. Like, I love it, but I hate it.
there is something that killed COD. It's called Halo, baby.
That's true. That's true.
Those facts,
That's
Jedi.
true. We're not there
Talk
yet.
those facts.
We're not there yet, though. We're not there yet. There's another game that we're going to talk about. We're definitely going to talk about this game, Alan Wake 2. It's been 11 years since the release of that first game, and there's been rumors of this development the last few months, and it's about time that it made its return. Remedy, again, like I said, it's one of my favorite studios, and they've turned up in force for the Game Awards. And, man, I'm pretty hyped for this. And I don't know who the actor is, but he's obviously new to the series. But I've seen him in things, and I don't mind him as an actor. Don't know his name. Bushido, did you play Alan Wake, the original? Or did you play the remaster?
No, I did not. I missed out on it. I have it. It's one of those games that got lost in the backlog, and I regret never playing. But I want to play that one first, getting the remaster, and then playing the second one. But seeing that reveal was pretty hype, because seeing his face was like, oh man, okay, it's gonna be something different too. Okay, so I'm pretty hyped for that too.
Yeah,
Look
man.
good.
Yeah. Umbra, you played Alan Wake?
Yeah, I did. I actually really liked Alan Wake, and I actually had the what was it, American Nightmare, the expansion they did. I actually still have it, of course, but yeah, actually I liked it. It was pretty dope. There were issues I had with it, of course, but there's one of those games where the narrative leads more so than anything else. So I accepted that. It was pretty good. Seeing it at the Game Awards, I knew almost immediately what it was when I saw it, and I was like, "Oh yeah, this is going to be big." And it just kind of reminded me that it's yet another IP that Microsoft kind of let get away. When you think about it,
Yeah.
Can we stop all the studios and we let go of BioWare? You just told me
that's the
about
one that
it.
was the most.
I didn't know that about Quantic. And then you go Remedy. I forgot about Remedy.
Yeah,
Oh, that was a
yeah.
generation of being an Xbox fan. I tell you.
Yeah.
Look, after Quantum Break, something happened between Remedy and Microsoft. I'm not sure what it was, but I think that they had a pretty big falling out. Just recently, Phil Spencer announced that Control was coming to Game Pass, and I don't think Remedy were very happy with that at all. I think it killed their sales on Xbox, and then they ended up putting it on PlayStation Plus or PlayStation Now. So yeah, there's definitely something going on in the background there. Alan Wake was always, I mean, there's been a rumor about Alan Wake 2 forever, and there was definitely a reason why Remedy didn't want to make it. Yes, it had a very strong cult following, but I don't think commercially it was ever really a success. But Remedy just recently bought the rights to Alan Wake back from Microsoft. And so when that happened, you pretty much knew that something was in the works. And then they just recently released it onto PlayStation as a remaster. They have a much bigger audience now that they can target. So I think the time is right for Alan Wake 2. Yes, there's no Xbox exclusivity. Yeah, I mean, that hurts. But really, the more people that get to experience and enjoy this game, the better. Yeah, loved the original Alan Wake. I thought it was amazing. It looked beautiful for its time. Another stealthy horror game. Yeah, right up my alley. And very Remedy are great at telling a story. I think that they have that flow, that narrative flow, really well.
Really
And
weird
they
stories
amp up,
as well.
You know, it's,
Yeah, they come out with some really
that's
odd
right.
stories that kind of tie together, and
Yeah.
they're quite quirky, and they're good. They're good at what they do, and graphically they're good.
Very
Man.
different. And yes, yeah, and the stories, they're always different, and they always have something that you just don't expect, and I love that about them.
Yeah. Remedy's one of my top 10 studios for sure. Uni,
Right.
did you play Alan Wake, bro?
Yeah, I didn't finish it though. That was years ago. That's the game with the flashlight, right?
Yeah, that's the one.
Hello?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's Remedy's work before they got on Control. Yeah, I like Remedy. It's not one of my top 10 studios, but they're a quality studio. Alan Wake 2 it's bittersweet, like I said, because at the end of the day, it's one of the best known Xbox exclusives. Now it's a multi-plat, and like what you said, yeah, more people get to play it, but it always seems to be on the Xbox side that we're saying that. You know what I'm saying? Like, why more people can't get to play Persona 5? Why more people can't get to play Street Fighter 5? Why more people can't get to play? I can go down a list of all of these games that will just get robbed from the Xbox community, man.
Yeah,
And like I said, it's bittersweet when you see things like KOTOR. That's why when they say, "Oh, Xbox people, they just want acquisitions," it's because we're tired of stuff like this happening, where you get an exclusive,
Coda hurt.
and then
Coda hurt.
I agree.
one generation, and it's gone. Like look at Sunset Overdrive. You'll never see another one of those. Alan Wake, that's gone. KOTOR, that's gone too. Like it always seems like Xbox exclusives are only there for until they're not there.
Yeah, but those
So,
days,
like,
those days are over. They're the old days, man. They're the old days, man. They're not.
If there's ever a new Doom,
Hang on, Pete.
Quake,
Hang on, Pete.
Wolfenstein.
Hang on, Pete. They're the old days. They're not now. This new generation, with Phil Spencer riding at the helm. You know, I just don't see Xbox ever going back down that road again.
I do agree.
Look, you know, the KOTOR thing hurt, and that's you know the most recent sting. But you don't know what happened behind the scenes there, man. It's shit. They got the jump on
New
us with
Elder
that.
Scrolls,
Yeah, I just
new Fallout.
we got it
I'm
all.
not gonna
We got it
lie,
all coming.
I
It's
would
all
say that
coming.
for anything else. I'm with you. I would say that for anything else, but during the Don Matrick years, man, I hate to say it. Everything I just blame on him. I can't help it. I'm usually more reasonable, but this stuff is like you just keep screwing us over, dude.
Yeah, he was a
So,
dick. That dude was a dick. Don
was-
the dick,
yeah.
mate. That's what he was.
He was a suit, and Xbox almost died under his tenureship, under his tenure. So yeah, but we're back, baby. Xbox is back. Xbox is firing. The next Elder Scrolls is not going to be on PlayStation. You know, Elder Scrolls is not going to be on PlayStation. Fallout is not going to be on PlayStation.
Starfield.
Wolfenstein is not going to be on PlayStation. These, you know, so. You know, the days of old are gone. This is a new Xbox that we're looking at. Yes, Coda hurt a lot. But in saying that, it's gonna hurt PlayStation when Elder Scrolls isn't on there. So
And it's time.
yeah, but talking about Remedy. They went down in my books when they made me pay extra for the next generation version of Control. I think that's really scummy business tactics. I hate it. I bought Control. I wanted smart delivery, and they didn't give it to me. They made me pay extra for it, so I just didn't buy it. Didn't buy. And yes, I don't get to experience the Alan Wake expansion, but you know what? So be it. I don't adhere to those practices. I don't I don't agree with them, and so they'll not be getting my money. You know, I played through all the Control. I really enjoyed it. I'd love to play the expansion, the tie-in with Alan Wake, but I'm not going to unless they give me that free upgrade.
That's fair, man. You got to speak with your wallet. Bushido?
The only reason why I was because of the expansion was wrapped in it during the holiday. That was the only reason, because I wanted to play the expansion too. And so when it was wrapped together with the Wishbone, I still thought it was scummy, but at the same time, it was on sale, and it was like I think $15, because I know
initially, I think it was $30. Yeah, I think it was $30 in Australia. Yeah,
I got it. So it wasn't that bad, but I still hated myself for rewarding them for being like that, man. It just I still haven't even played it yet. It pissed me off still.
Yeah, it pisses me off too, mate. I agree, mate. I agree. It's scummy business tactics, mate.
Yeah, it's PlayStation tactics. Warhammer 40k Space Marine 2. Now, I haven't played Space Marine 1, but I know that you have, Bushido. I looked at the trailer. It was mostly CGI, but and I'm a bit iffy on Warhammer games because there's been a few really good ones and there's been a few like really bad ones. So I'm a bit cautious, but when I saw the gameplay at the end of the trailer, man, that does look fire. 110% fire. It looks wicked. You're obviously excited playing Space Marine 1.
When I played the 360, that was so much addictive freaking fun. Like, I can't explain. I still remember to this day how it felt to play that game. And when I saw it, and especially with the sword, that the chainsaw sword, I was like, oh yeah, that takes me back. I got high hopes for it, because you are right. They are so hit and miss when it comes to this game. I don't really, know what to take. I'm just hoping it's going to be good again.
Make Space
Yeah, they
Marine
give that franchise out to so many different studios. That's why I think they're so hit and miss. I think this studio has been given to the people that made World War Z. I love that game. They're using the same engine that they used for World War Z, so all those zombies clamoring on you. I think that studio has proven themselves. I think that World War Z is a very, very fun game. It's definitely a very fun game to play with your mates. It's on Game Pass, so check it out.
Is it Saber?
Saber
Interactive? Is that the name of the studio? I think Saber is.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Pretty sure.
Yeah, I think you're right. Yeah, I think you might be right, mate. Yeah, so yeah, cannot wait. I love the Warhammer universe. I think it's just got such deep lore. I think the character models are, second to none. They do have that very, very big cult following. So everything I've seen from this game so far looks amazing. I didn't play the original, but I will definitely be playing this one. And just a little icing, the cherry on top, it only mentioned Xbox and PC. So I think we might have either exclusivity or timed exclusivity for this game. So yeah, going to be amazing.
Or a next gen game. Finally.
Umbra, have you played Space Marine?
Yeah.
Or? Okay.
I had not played it, but I will tell you, after I saw that trailer, I was sold immediately. It reminded me of Gears of War in a very positive way.
Yeah, it is
like a horde mode. Yeah. So I'm sold. Absolutely, I'll be getting it. And if they have a partnership with them, then maybe it might come to Game Pass. Who knows?
Yeah. I'm watching the trailer now, and you're right. It looks not exactly, but I can see where you're getting Gears of War out of this, man. It's got a very Gears of War vibe to it, and I like that. Uni, are you excited for Space Marine?
Oh, no, not really. I have no experience with it, so. But if it comes to Game Pass, I'll try it out.
Arc Raiders. I'll try and get there's so many that came out. I'm going to try and cut them down, man. But another one that I'm pretty excited for, and I've been watching this game for about a year. And it wasn't even called Arc Raiders. It was an unnamed game, and it was it got leaked. But Arc Raiders, that third-person co-op shooter, set in a bit of a dystopian world where robots are just dropping out of the sky, and you got to go kill them. Man, that looks sick. That game looked awesome. Like third person over the
looks pretty
shoulder
good.
shooter. Yeah, I'm pretty excited for
It
that
looks
game.
pretty good. You know what it reminded me of, though? I don't know if you all had a chance to play it, but it's in Game Pass now. It reminded me of Generation Zero, but like the better looking version. And Generation Zero is not a bad looking game, but it looks like Generation Zero, like you fight the robots and stuff like that. And the only thing I disliked from what I saw was that it was basically these same flying drone like enemies. So I hope and then of course that big enemy at the end, but I hope they have more variety. But it reminded me of Generation Zero. So
Yeah.
I'm gonna try
I don't know how good it is.
Bushido, you were saying?
Yeah, what really excited me... Oh, sorry, you go, Bushido, mate.
No, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I was just going to
saying
say that what...
That's all.
You go, mate. You go, brother.
No, I'm sorry. I'm being ignorant. I interrupted. Go ahead.
I was just going to say that what I really liked about Arc Raiders is it's actually been made by the ex-DICE developers, Patrick Soderlund, who was head of an executive at EA, and this is their first game since they made their new art studio, Embark Studios. So, very high pedigree. They were at DICE. They know how to do shooters. This is going to be a live service model type game. It's going to be all PvEs, so jump in, play with your mates, kill some mechanized monsters. The gameplay looks great. Love the third person shooting mechanics. Love the look of it. Love the look and feel of the world. That foresty area in the dark when they showed the drone hovering over the top with the lights flashing down looked amazing. So yeah, I'm really interested to see what this new studio can do. Definitely some talent there, so definitely one to watch out for.
Yeah, it looks very battlefronty. It does have a bit of a Battlefront feel to it.
Yeah.
Which could be a really good thing. Bushido, you were going to say?
Another game again that I thought this is why I give the whole show like a 10. I just kept seeing things I liked. I kept seeing things that I'd be excited to play, and that was another one. Unlike Umbra, Negative Umbra, I thought that they were just the robots they were showing us, so I didn't have such a negative view. But I thought it. I really
Negative Umbra. I like that negative Umbra.
I was excited for it again. Like I said, I'm not usually a fanboy nowadays of when we get a game show or E3, I don't scream and everything. But this one, I was like, hey, okay, all right, yeah, I would love to play that. The whole mentality the whole time, and that was one of the games. I just would like to play that. That's one of those I like to play that now game. Can I have that now, please?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm an old Battlefield. I don't know, Battlefield whore, I guess you'd call me. So if it's made by the developers of Battlefield, I'm probably going to be in. I'll be stuck on that game for hours and hours. Look, we got to move through some of these games, and I'm going to do them quick now. So look, I'm going to do the next 4 that I got: Suicide Squad, The Expanse, and Evil West. Suicide Squad, we know what that's all about. The Expanse is that Telltale spin-off of the actual series. I haven't seen The Expanse, so I'm not really overly into that sort of a thing, that Telltale type game either. And Evil West. And Evil West,
fantastic, bro.
I'll have to watch it. And Evil West looks like it looks a 50-50 to me. It looks good, but it could be complete shit. So those ones, what do you guys think? Suicide Squad, The Expanse, Evil West. Tell me your thoughts.
Yeah, Andre, you go, mate.
Okay, I would say all 4 of those looked really good. Evil West was it took me by surprise a little bit, and it looks really, really polished. I'm actually really excited for that to learn more. So I don't have any real judgment on it yet, but I'm excited to see more before I'd say. Suicide Squad looks way better than what it looked like when they first announced it. I had no interest in it at first, and now I'm actually excited for it. What was the other two? I forget.
I agree with that. Suicide Squad was again one of those iffy ones, but it's Rocksteady, man. So after that trailer, I'm pretty down. The Expanse and
complete trust in Rocksteady, by the way. So absolutely,
yeah.
The last game was The Expanse, the Telltale Expanse game.
Yeah, The Expanse. I haven't seen the show either. I do want to watch it. I think somebody compared it to a Game of Thrones in space.
I did not know there was such a thing as a Telltale game for that. I didn't know that.
Yes. Telltale are back. Yep.
I have to thank each one of you with a big kiss because I love the series. I promise you. Listen, I promise you, if you watch this series, you will not be disappointed.
Yep. Expanse is great. I agree.
Until the eighth season. Until the eighth season when they end it shit. Is that what's going to happen?
Well,
it's supposed to end this year.
It was the fans that brought that series back. That series was cancelled after, I think, the third series, and the fan backlash that it actually got another production studio or to pick it up, and they moved it over to streaming services and brought it back. So that just shows you how much love that series actually has. And to see Telltale back, I'm very, very, very happy for that. You know, some of the work they did with The Wolf Among Us and The Walking Dead and Batman and Game of Thrones. Yeah, I loved those games. I love those episodic games. They were just so good to jump into, you know, just have a little bit of play around. They were quick time events, but they knew how to tell a story. And I think The Expanse is a very good world for them to build on. So, yeah, really looking forward to that. Suicide Squad, I don't like the look of that game. I just don't like it. But it's made by Rocksteady. So, how can you go wrong? They have proven themselves time and time and time again. The Arkham series is about as good as gaming gets. I have replayed those games, you know, that many times. They are just amazing. The other game, West, I don't know anything about it, so I'm just going to have to pass on that. One other game that I will mention is Nightingale. Now, that one is on my list because it's made by ex-BioWare developers. So the guys that actually started BioWare have started their own studio, Inflection. This is their first game that they're making. So, yeah, everyone, keep your eyes on that. It's called Nightingale. And from everything I've seen so far, I love the world. You know, we all know how good BioWare are at telling the story. So, yeah, that's another one to keep your eyes on.
Yeah, BioWare's never made a good game. They can't tell a story to save their life. Anyway, moving on. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Made by a guy that hasn't played Mass Effect and calls himself a gamer.
Wait.
Never played it.
That's not how I sound.
Wait. You haven't played Mass Effect?
Nah, never. Never played it. Never played it.
Listen. If any game I call a masterpiece or even series, it's Mass Effect. We're going to
Mass Effect 2 is the perfect game.
You know what? That's a
perfect game.
Do you know what? That's a lie because I haven't not played it. I played about 10 minutes when it came to Game Pass.
Yeah, like I said, we got to talk. I don't care how many minutes you played. You haven't finished the series. We have to talk.
I will play it. It's just
your mama would be very disappointed in you.
It's such a massive.
I've been trying to get him to play it, Bushido, mate. I have been trying.
It's such a massive undertaking.
You haven't been trying hard enough.
It's huge. That game is massive. Like
it's everybody else's fault. You haven't been trying hard enough.
Uni, is there anything else from the game show that you saw that you were super excited for? Talk to me.
No, nothing else. I guess the Halo TV show, I guess.
Yep. Yeah. Oh, well, we're moving into that right now. We are moving into that right now.
I just wanted to say, Sourblowed Gaming said, "What's that 2D game with the Reaper?" I know what you're talking about. It looked very much like Grim Fandango, didn't it? Does anyone remember the name of that game?
Oh, yeah.
No, but it looked good. It did look good.
Mr. Joanna Dark said it was called Somerville, I think. I'm not sure if that's right,
Yep,
but
that is
that
right.
game did look pretty good too.
That's right.
Yeah,
That is
so
right.
thank you,
That's
Mr. Joanna Dark. mate.
Somerville, that's
Yeah.
right.
No, and that'll be one of those Game Pass games for sure. Like I don't think they announced it for Game Pass, but you can almost guarantee. But I thought that about Death's Door. I was like, I'm not buying Death's Door because that's definitely coming to Game Pass. And so far, I've been wrong. It's the only one I've been wrong about, and I want to play it.
I would just highly recommend you buy Death's Door. It's cheap for one. Two, it's very near just being I would say, a masterpiece in a way. I wouldn't call it a masterpiece, but it's a great game. Definitely get it.
I did. If you like that sort of thing, have you guys played the Tunic demo? I pulled that out today to just have a quick game on it.
Man, I'm excited for that.
Wait for that game.
Yeah.
It's like a
I
Zelda
bought
game.
Death's Door as well. Death's Door is a masterpiece. I loved every minute of that game.
Have you played Tunic, Pete? Because I think if you like Death's Door,
Yes, I did. I did play the demo of Tunic. Can't wait to play more. You know what it reminded me of? Minecraft Dungeons. I don't think that game
Really?
gets talked about enough. Yeah. Just the combat aspect and the way you walk around the world. So yeah, very, very cool. Can't wait to see more. Loved the Legends of Zelda, back in the days. So yeah.
Look, I got to be honest here.
Can't wait for Tunic.
I normally make fun of people who play Minecraft, but we're all inclusive here, so we won't do that. We won't do that.
I would absolutely disagree with that thought, though. I don't think it plays anything like Minecraft Dungeons, really, outside of you moving around a kind of an elevated, view of your character. But it plays completely different as far as the combat and things like that.
Yeah.
Exactly, it's more of a Zelda clone, if anything.
See, I play Minecraft mostly because I just don't want to get caught playing Minecraft. I feel like that would be.
It's not Minecraft. It's Minecraft Dungeons.
Look, we got to move on because otherwise we're going to be here all night. All podcasts, I keep saying this. I think I've said this the last 4 podcasts, the last 3 podcasts, and we've only had 6. They all lead to Halo Infinite, and this one is going to, and deservedly so, because it took out the People's Choice Game of the Year award, and I think if it had released in the time frame, I think it would have taken out Game of the Year personally, but Microsoft didn't do too badly. I think they got 6 awards. Deathleap took out Best Game Direction, Best Art Direction, and Forza 5 got Best Sound Design, Best Innovation in Accessibility, and Best Sports and Racing, and then Age of Empires brought up the rear with the Best Sim or Strategy. So Xbox had a great year, a fantastic year, and I didn't see many PlayStation games get mentioned at the Game Awards for wins, to be honest. And I will say, I was pretty surprised to see Elden Ring take the most anticipated over Starfield.
I was too.
Yeah.
Same.
Yeah.
Me too. Especially with the niche aspect of Dark Souls, but it shows you how much.
Say again.
Shows you how much into the
Elden Ring is right around the corner. Like Elden Ring is like in February. Starfield is all the way in November.
That's true. Yeah,
That's a fair
that is
point,
true.
yeah.
And we've seen more of Elden Ring, and we've had the demo.
Exactly.
We've seen a lot more than we have of Starfield. But then, in saying that, Starfield's made by Bethesda. So we know how good that game's going to be. So it still was surprising.
Even if it is slightly buggy, it might be a little bit buggy at the start, but then it will be all right. Everyone just needs to
I just wanted to say that Mr. Joanna Dark said that game is called. Yeah, that game's not called Somerville. It's called Have a Nice Death, supposedly, the game with the Reaper. So thank you to Mr. Joanna Dark. You're a legend, mate.
Wicked. That sounds like a game I want to play. Have a nice death. I like that. Hey, so going back to what Uni was saying, Halo TV show. Look, man, this is my personal opinion, and don't leave the channel immediately. But I thought the trailer was underwhelming. I would have liked to have seen a little bit of story hints so I could kind of figure out where the time setting was, maybe some Covenant visuals so I could see how they're going to approach. Is it going to be like fully CGI like Covenant, or are they going to be, half CGI, half, special effects or whatever?
I like the way they did it the last time in the last TV show they did when he had to rescue the two, the guy last year.
Yeah. Lasky, yeah. Is it centered?
I thought Nightfall was great too. Yeah, that bit with when the Master Chief comes in and fights the Covenant, that
Yeah,
5 minutes was absolutely amazing.
That looked amazing. Like I was like, yo, the elite looks terrifying.
Yeah. And I want to see more of that. It reminds me of Rogue One when Darth Vader comes in for that 2 minute scene and just steals the entire movie.
Man. That was awesome.
One of the best modern scenes in any Star Wars show, movie, anything.
Did you almost jump out of your chair? I almost jumped out of my chair. I was like, yes!
Yeah.
I remember the theater when that part happened. Everybody was like gasping when he came through. First time he'd ever felt that terrifying, I think.
Yeah, it was almost horror. They had that horror aspect to it, and you could just see the fear in their faces. It was just so well done.
And there was no stopping him. It was like that. It's like what you wanted Darth Vader to be in those originals. Like he was just unstoppable. Like in the comics, he's unstoppable, and in the lore, he's unstoppable. But if you look at the old movies, it's a bit rough. But they just nailed that. They just made him look like an absolute beast that you just do not fuck with Darth. Like, no.
Yeah, and you get that feeling in Nightfall with the Master Chief when he's fighting the Covenant, and that's what I want from this Halo TV series, and that's what we didn't see. But we did see an overview of how the world building, what it actually looked like, and everything I saw from that aspect looked amazing. They nailed it. They nailed the look of the world. So it looks like the production values are there. This has the potential to be great.
Yeah, I'm in agreement there. I'm half and half. I agree with Risket that it didn't wow me, and I think because it seems like almost like they're hiding a bit, like far as movement and attacks and how Chief and it seems to be Blue Team, I'm guessing, would actually fight. So they're not really showing us that, and they're just really just showing them walking around or kneeling and aiming a gun. So it gives me a little bit of pause. But I will say, after watching it again, I agree with you, Jedi, as far as the world building. It does look good. And then they showed High Charity. I don't know if you all saw that, but High Charity was shown. It's like that mushroom-looking, Metroid-looking thing in space.
Right.
So basically, watch it again. You'll see it. It's like you saw it in Halo 2 when you play it. You see High Charity. Right. It looks really dope, actually. So I'm actually excited for the CGI. I think they have that down pat as far as that in the cities and things like that they showed. I'm just worried about the action. I need to see something of that to get me fully on board. I'm going to watch it anyway. I don't know why I'm saying I need to see that to get me on board. But I want it to be great. So I'm hoping that it's solid as far as the action and everything else goes. But I wasn't blown away.
And how many Halo movies and TV shows have fallen through the cracks? I mean, at least we're finally getting one. Let's just hope that it's good. There's just been so many times that they've said that we're getting one, and it just hasn't come to fruition. So I'm glad that this one is actually making it to the screen. Fingers crossed.
But I mean, like you said,
do Halo justice.
Like you said about
because like Umbra was saying before, the world of Halo is, it's on par of the best sci-fi lores out there. So they have so much to work with.
But I mean, you said it's got potential, but like everything's got potential. You know what I mean? Like I guess a shit on the floor's got potential to be something. Like, so everything's got potential.
More
it's just
cynical than I am.
If they fuck this up, like the Halo community will not forgive them. Bushido,
right.
What do you reckon?
They better not fuck it up.
Exactly. There'll be like hundreds of angry Halo fans like at the gates, mate.
Man, it'll break the internet.
Yeah. Oh, hot. And can you imagine the backlash from the ponies? We don't need that. We don't need this.
Oh man. And listen, it ain't got nothing to do with gaming. It's a show, but they would still find that to be useful.
Oh yeah. They'll use it.
They will.
They'll use it. Uni, you got to be excited for Halo, man.
Yeah, anything Halo gets excited. Hopefully, I just hope that they take it seriously. That's all.
And treat it with the respect that it deserves. Absolutely. because like
Great.
Jedi and Umbra was saying, man, it is one of the deepest lore-filled games that there is, and if you mess
I
that,
need somebody to
Without
put
question.
with me, man.
if you mess this up, I'll be devastated. I'll be devastated for the franchise, for them, and for myself.
And one thing I'll point out, by the way, if you all didn't know, they renewed it for season 2 already. So
Yes.
clearly,
Yes.
the trailer hit clearly for them. They saw the response. So people liked what they saw, and that's why they renewed it, because they knew already it's going to be a hit. I mean, it's one of the biggest iconic franchises, so it's going to be there. But I think the response they got from the new trailer was like, yeah, okay, we're going to stick with this. So we might see even better stuff in the season 2 and going forward.
Off topic, but on topic. Did you see the new Witcher trailer? Oh my god, December 17. I am like,
I missed that. Let's see that. I'll check it out for the show.
Cannot wait.
oh, the combat in it.
Yeah, cannot wait.
Just
mate.
the combat in that show is like, oh, honestly, so good.
It's pretty solid.
Oh man, that's one of the greatest series ever made.
I think it could be better. I think the timelines all over the place could be better.
Don't you start bagging out my TV show, Pete. Don't you start bagging out my TV.
I like The Witcher. I just think it could have been done better. I actually think CD Projekt Red did a better job with it. I prefer their way that they built the characters, but the combat in the show,
you are blocked.
The combat in the show is great.
Yeah.
I mean, just the way they timeline, jumping from forward to back.
Listen.
You just
there's a
don't
reason.
know where you are at any time.
We had this discussion. There's a reason that they did. They did that because there's so much to fit into that first season, so people understand. They had to jump backwards and forwards to get all of that story and have an equal share of those three characters in the actual thing. Look, it was confusing initially, but if you watch it and then you rewatch it, there's so many aha moments in that thing, and I like that. I like that you kind of had to go. It's like Pulp Fiction. When you first watched that, you were like, "What the is going on here?" And then you had to go back and you rewatched it, and you were like, "Oh yeah, I get this. I'm getting it." I like that.
I think Henry Cavill does a very good job with the combat. I think he does amazing, and I think Freya Allen portrays Siri great. I think was perfectly cast. Anya Charlotta for Yennefer, it's just a miscasting. I'm sorry, but
you leave her alone.
Yeah,
She's smoking hot. Go, Bushido. Get him, Bushido.
I thought it was just me.
No, I don't think so, mate. Nah.
Yeah, I think you just need glasses,
so,
bro. It's all right. I know a good optometrist. I know a really good optometrist. Man. I get you set up.
Oh, that girl is my woman. You leave her alone. You leave her alone. All right, look, we got to talk about the Halo campaign. That's a given. But before we move into that campaign, I want to talk about the release. And look, don't get me wrong, I'm a massive Halo fan, and I only want the best for the series. But I'm gonna take some shots here. It was atrocious. It was probably one of the most poorly released titles that I can remember. What company doesn't allow preloading? Like, we're in the new generation. Like, whatever the reason, that should have been identified early on, and at least they should have realized what was happening when they early released the multiplayer and rectified it. And this is, like, in my opinion, 100% a management issue. I think it's endemic at 343, and they need to cull the management out and get some real leaders. I mean, 6 years of development, it doesn't show in this game. Like, it's a great game, don't get me wrong, but you just can't. I don't see 6 years development in this game. And after reading that article of Jason Schreier's from Bloomberg, like the development trouble and hell that they were in for 5 of those years, look, it's pretty clear, and we talked about this earlier, that Bonnie Ross needs to go. Like, move to a different area in Xbox. Look, there's obviously a lot of talent at 343. We can see that in the game. And look, keep Joe Staten. Keep him there. And he needs to have full control of 343. And then, if they can't keep Joe, get some other leaders, man, because that was just disgraceful. There are people sitting around for 2 to 3 hours. You know, some had to wait a day for it to fucking download so they could play it. That's disgraceful. That is absolutely just a huge misstep, and it's another misstep by 343, and they've had way too many, in my opinion, and it is management's fault, no one else's fault. And that's what I wanted to say. I'm still angry about it. Anyone else got any opinions on this?
Yeah, look, I agree. I agree 100%.
Disagree,
They think that everybody has super fast internet, and 50 gigs takes a lot of time for people to download. Some people don't have the benefit of having super fast internet, and a lot of people would have taken that day off work just to play Halo, only to be told that no, you can't pre-download it. You'll need to
disrespectful.
You'll need to download it.
It is disrespectful of my time.
It
Don't disrespect my fucking time like it means nothing.
It is. And what worries me is because the game turned out so good, I mean, I'm absolutely loving it, is I think management will get away with it again. I know Bonnie Ross has a lot of history with Xbox. I know she was, absolutely fantastic when they were first coming out with Xbox Live, and she was instrumental in getting that service going. And I know Phil Spencer has a lot of love for her, and that's why, they gave her the role of leader at 343. But to me, she doesn't seem like a leader. It seems that, we heard that when they were developing this game, they had 5 or 6 different versions of Halo going at the same time, and it took them, 4 years to actually, hit on one specific version of Halo, which is why, the multiplayer is lacking so many maps and modes. It's why, the first showing of the campaign was so lackluster. It's because they just had to absolutely cram. They had 6 years and they had to cram it all into the last 18 months. That is purely a management issue. The development team, it speaks for itself, the game. It's amazing. It should have been better. There should have been more, and it all falls on management's head. And in the end of the day, the person in charge of management is Bonnie Ross, and she needs to be held accountable.
Yeah, I'm sad to say, but I've said this before. Bunny Ross or Kiki Wolfkill, one of them, somebody has to be held responsible, because as much as I've defended 343 like none other, and I'm talking about, how toxic the Halo fan base can be, and I stood up for them as far as that goes, and I was like, give them a chance. I will say, at the very least, it looks like it's paid off as far as the multiplayer and the campaign goes in Infinite, without question. But first, for us to be, like you said, 6 years into that, and only really 2 years of development time, and having Jason Schreier point out that they were in such development hell that they didn't even know the direction they wanted to go with the game. That's definitely a leadership issue. And I don't know the inner workings of how everything works there and who's responsible for what. But when they got rid of Chris Lee, I don't think he was the problem. That's not the thought that crossed my mind.
Yes. Yes.
In my mind, immediately went to Bunny Ross and Kiki Wolfkill. For whatever reason, it's just too many issues that's not dev focused, and it seemed managerial, and that history itself lends itself to Microsoft itself for the 8th gen, where everybody complained about managerial issues with Xbox, and I think that's lingered on with them, unfortunately. I will say, the fortunate part again is that we do have a great campaign and a great multiplayer. So it's not all doom and gloom. That's the good thing. So for them to have turned out the way it turned out, that's nothing short of a miracle right there for me. So, but I definitely agree with you. I think Bunny has to go.
What do you think, Bushido, in terms of the management issues and your overall feeling about, the Halo campaign, mate?
The campaign is marvelous. I'm just sounding like a positive guy today, and I'm not that type of dude, but the campaign is fantastic.
He's not at all. I agree. I co-sign that. He's terrible.
No, I am listen, I joke around a lot, but yeah, I could be real cynical. I could be real. Anyway, so when it comes to the to this situation, I'm with Umbra, except I didn't think of Kiki Wolfkill because she's underneath Bonnie Ross. And so I kind of and I don't like blaming or pointing the finger because if I don't have all the information, I don't like making assumptions. But in this situation, I really felt more compelled to be like, if this is true, and I can't stand Jason Schreier either, but if this is true, this would be a Bonnie Ross issue, if you ask me. But like I said, I don't know everything, but man, it just was ugly to see here. We heard about it for years anyway.
Yes, we did. Yep. There was
Yeah,
always that
so
noise in the background that
yes,
there was
about
big
what was
problems
going
with the
on.
Halo
Yep.
development. Yep.
And so it was annoying it's annoying to see that. I've said multiple times though that I don't like Microsoft's marketing department. I think they're piss poor. I don't think they do a good job at all of advertisement. I don't think that um, I don't think that they do everything that, let's say, PlayStation. I hate to say use some other company, but like PlayStation will break their necks to promote games and put them on the sides of um, buses or whatever. But you don't get that with Xbox, and it always kind of bothers me. So I look at it. Yeah, I do look at it the same way. I think it is a management problem, and like I said, when I don't know everything about the situation, I don't like judging it. But when you keep having issues and your name is still involved in it, something has to change.
Yeah. I couldn't agree more. And I think that Chris Lee was used as a scapegoat once again.
Scapegoat. Yep.
And I hate that. I hate that because it's definitely a management issue. At the end of the day, the game design's fantastic. So why was he held accountable for something that should have been above him? But what do you think, Uni?
Yeah.
What do you think about this situation, mate?
Well, honestly, I think like what he was saying. If you don't know everything, I can't make definitive statements. But to me, it's a damn sure a miracle what they pulled off. Like they did a great campaign, a great game. They, it's not completed, but I, I don't know. I can't say because like I think people are too hard on 343, man. I think all the three games that they ever made was 84, 86, and 87. Like it's pretty good to me. So I'm not gonna like kill them too hard because I'm like, bro, PlayStation delayed three games last year. Nobody cares. Xbox delayed one game is the end of the world. So
Let
I'm
me
just
ask you this,
like,
though, Uni. Do you think it's because people feel disappointed or they have higher expectations for them? Like, or they just feel like, Halo should be better? Or unrealistically, they think it should be better?
but listen to what I'm telling you. They claim PlayStation has the better IPs and better games. So why do you have a standard higher for Halo than any PlayStation game? Why don't they demand better? Why is
Because
it
it's
that
a
Halo has to
flagship
come with?
title. Because it's a flagship title for the Xbox console that
Okay,
that Xbox was built around.
okay.
And like it or not, 343 was specifically designed as a studio to take the mantle from Bungie. So yes, of
Let me ask
course
you
they're
this
going to be
question.
held to a
I'm gonna
higher
put,
standard, and
let me ask you
they
this question.
should be held to that higher standard.
Let me ask you this question. Is God of War a flagship title for Sony?
No.
Uh,
No.
it has become so. It has become so, and
Mhm.
everything that Sony Santa Monica have done has been great. So they deserve all the praise that they get.
Okay, so they deserve praise for giving you a game with no multiplayer, no co-op, no forge, no theater, no cross-play, and I could go down the list. But they
Yeah,
deserve
but
all the praise.
have you played God of War? It is
Yes,
one
No,
I
I
of
see
have.
what you're saying.
it
See
is
what
a
Uni's
But
saying.
masterpiece of a game.
Uni is
It
saying
doesn't
that
need multiplayer.
Uni is saying that the
the purpose
game
of the
they only had one thing to work on, but
yes,
343 had multiple things to work on. You had to
And they
work on
also
the
had 6 years. And
multiplayer.
they also had 6 years and an unlimited budget. And
First of
yes,
all,
when you
where
get
did you get
the
this info
unlimited
from
budget,
unlimited
and when you
budget?
get that unlimited time, yes, maybe you can sort of go off in the wrong direction. But to have 5 or 6 different games going at the same time, that is going to stretch any studio. And can you imagine the
Again,
developers that were working on the games that they didn't take forward? I can only imagine all the hard work that they put into it just to be scrapped. That is a management issue, and I think it needs to be addressed.
what
I'm
I'm
not a
telling you is
Fryer
it
guy.
cannot be a management issue because all 3 games came out was critically well received. They've been they have a lot of player count. Halo is in a better place than it's ever been. So you're saying punish them for doing the impossible. They turned it around
Oh,
last year. Look where Halo was last year when they revealed it to today. They turned that around. So you're going to reward them for all of the hard work they did to turn this ship around in 1 year, delivered you a critically well received game. It won an award for the People's Choice Award at the game thing because people love the game. And you're like, nah, punish them all for leading
no,
them through all of that.
I'm not saying punish them all. I'm saying that Joe Staten came in and steered the ship in the right direction. The developers did an amazing job trying to push through all the problems with COVID and the pandemic
Bonnie
and,
doesn't
and
I
get
think
working
credit
from
for
home.
that.
I think
They
I
did an
think
amazing job, and the bones of the campaign are absolutely fantastic.
I
But
think
the
the
issues
question
stem from
here is,
before that.
yep, hang on. I think the question here is though, going forward, do we want, because it's supposed to have a 10-year life, right? Going forward, do we want the leadership that took 6 years to put this banger out? Because it is a banger. It's one of the best. It's the best Halo I've ever played. It's a great game. But
I think it's
do we do?
Look at the Metacritic scores for Bungie games after Bungie left. Exactly.
But
I
do
don't
we?
even
But do we
I
want
just say,
that management steering the ship
you know,
without Joe
this
Staten?
is my argument. I think both of you all make great points. Uni made a good point there, and Jedi made a good point. I'm more of the Bonnie needs to go crowd because I think it's all managerial issues personally, and I think it's continued ever since they've gotten the pilot seat personally. But that said, I agree that it feels wrong to punish them once they turn in a great game, right?
Yeah.
So it's hard. It's like we're kind of stuck in between a rock and a hard place. If the game would have had a bad critical reception, I'm pretty sure she would have got fired. Oh well, she's putting on another project or she's retiring. They would have gave a nice little PR spin. But I agree. I think if the game would have had bad reception, she would have been gone. I think she was on her last legs. I'm pretty sure Phil pulled her aside like, hey, Chris Lee's going, you're going to be next if this game doesn't, do it. Because they delayed the game for a whole year. Now, unlimited budget, they didn't have that, of course, but they had a big budget. And that all those plans they had for where Halo was supposed to be a launch title, all that was dashed because of poor management. That is not a good look. I'm pretty sure Phil and team were looking to get rid of one of them outside of Chris Lee. I'm pretty certain of that.
Yeah, look, and I think they should. They look. It's not. I agree with what you're saying, Uni. 110% agree. They put out a good game. They put out an 87 Metacritic game, and it's the best they've ever done. 343. This is the best they've ever done. But it took too long to get there. It took too much money to get there, which is not my problem. It's not anyone else's problem, but 343 is Microsoft's problem. But I just don't want going forward these DLCs to become convoluted and take too long to get out and not be of the quality that I expect them to be. And I think the Halo community expects them to be. So I think that Bonnie Ross probably needs to be not fired, but just repositioned. Just needs to be repositioned somewhere where she's more suited, because she's clearly not suited to handling 343 as a studio. I don't know. Do you think that that's punishing her, or do you think that that's just probably taking that weight off her shoulders?
I think that's
Well,
just
look,
her.
I think she's
It's not
been
the whole
there for a
team.
lot. Yeah, I think she's been there for long enough. I think New Horizons would be a good thing for her. She's obviously extremely talented, extremely creative, thinks
Maybe the same
outside
for
of the
her.
box. Yeah, she would be great in any role that they would find for her. But I don't think she belongs in a management position at 343. I think the failure of MCC at launch and the failure at Infinite at launch and the debacle of Halo 5 show that.
Do you disagree, Uni? Because I'm keen to get all views here. I'm keen.
Well, I mean, I think that she done an admirable job given the circumstances. Like you give her an impossible job, a game and a franchise that literally represents the entire Xbox with the lore, and then a community that don't know what they want. They want the old shit, but they want new shit, but they don't want. Like if you give them the old stuff, then they cry and say, "Well, Halo is not changing for the better." If you change it, then they cry and say, "Well, this is not Halo." So like you put them in the impossible spot of trying to recreate, put the genie back in the bottle, as they say, and it's impossible. So given the circumstances, for them to turn out such a game where like most of the players that play it are happy, I'm playing the campaign. Like nobody's crying about Craig and graphics anymore. The graphics was amazing. Love
How
all
about
of
that?
the fog and volumetric fog and stuff I'm seeing here. Like going inside, like I don't care. They say, oh, it gets repetitive. Inside doors. I don't care, man. This shit looks great on my TV, man. I like the combat so much. Plus, like the upgraded graphics with the Series X, man. I'm right here living the dream, bro.
Man,
But like at the end of the day,
I'm playing this
Yeah.
game on a Series S on a 32-inch like 1990s TV because I'm in a different country than I'm normally in. I travel to the UK and it still looks good. It's on the Series S and it still looks good at 1080p 60, man. It looks pretty fucking amazing. And you know what? The guy, if we're talking about firing people, let's talk about promoting people. Whoever came up with the grapple shot, that guy needs that guy needs a fucking pay rise, a blowjob, a pizza, and a fucking new position. Like he
Yeah,
is.
look, you guys know me. Gameplay trumps all, and I mean let's get rid of the negative because we're called Xbox Infinite for a reason. Halo Infinite is so much fun. I don't care if the story, if the open world gets a little bit repetitive because it is just so much fun. And at any time, go do a story mission. You know, you can do that. Wow, am I having fun playing this game? The gameplay is it's perfect. It's absolutely perfect. Everything feels absolutely amazing. The grapple just belongs in Halo, doesn't it? And I can't believe, it hasn't been there because it just feels so right. Every vehicle is just amazing, and yeah, I still love the greatest vehicle that's ever been designed. The weapons, the new weapons that they've implemented, the Stalker, everything about that game is amazing. Can't wait to get through all of it. But at the moment, I'm just doing every little thing, every Spartan core that's there, I'm collecting. Every Millia armor, I'm collecting. Every FOB, I'm taking down. Yeah, wow, is this game fun.
can we have a collective, appreciation for the person who came up with the name the Mangler?
Oh yeah,
Yep.
that game sucks in that gun sucks in multiplayer, but in campaign, it kicks ass, man.
It does not suck in multiplayer. It's awesome. Shoot 'em once, punch 'em once, dead, mate.
I think an Aussie came up with the name. The Mangler.
You can melee, and one shot, and a melee will kill them every time. Because of the
or a melee and a shot. Either way you do it. Yep.
But
the Mangler. That's an Aussie came up with that. The Mangler.
It mangles you, mate. It mangles you.
Oh, I love the plasma rifle. That's the thing, man. There's not a gun in this game that's bad. Like, I mean, I don't like the mangler, but other people do. But like, people don't like the plasma rifle, but I love it, man. That thing will strip shields mid range, and then all you got to do is switch to your pistol, and bye bye. Like that.
Yeah.
That gun
it's all about how you. In the last episode, last podcast, we were talking. I said I didn't care for it, but you're right. After that, I tried to test it out, and you're right. Using it as a utility where you strip the shields and then use another gun, it actually does work really, really well. So I agree with you. But the thing about that is all that balancing. That's a tough act because for so long people kind of wrote off. I said this before in past ones where people wrote off other guns in favor of just the pistol or maybe the sniper, because everything else was irrelevant when you had those weapons. Now they have it so much more well balanced. It's fun to in a sandbox to grab all these other weapons that you can use in different ways. So that's where that's the biggest triumph I think they've had outside of getting the sprint appreciated by everybody. Even the Halo fans who were anti-sprint are fine with sprint now. That's a miracle to me.
Yes,
It spins me out that like when you go to like COD and people are like, man, it's not COD if you can open a door. It's like, man, how long have you been alive? How many doors have you opened in your fucking life? Like you can sprint in real life too. Like, come on.
Exactly.
Yeah. They have done the impossible by bringing. Yeah, they've done the impossible by bringing the Halo community, which has always been so divided, together.
Yes.
That is a very, very tough ask, and kudos to them.
It's a special game. This game is actually what I would class, and I can't think of another game that I would class as a special game. And look, I don't want to go back to the negative, but I am looking forward to May when they release co-op, because that is going to be so good.
So
that's one thing I would point to that is unfortunate and negative. Like I was one of the people who were like, I don't care. You release the game.
Yep.
You all can wait for co-op. And I still believe that. But I will say it's very clear now that the campaign was made for co-op. It just, if you play it, you see how fitting co-op would be for it right now. At least 2-player.
And you get to tell
it's made for it.
You make stories. You make stories with your mates. You're like, remember when we went into that FOB and then that happened and then that crazy shit happened?
Exactly.
Do you know what's good now though? When you
I always said
better than the Warthog. The thing that's better than the Warthog is the Razorback, because you can fill that fucking thing with guys that's got like rocket launchers.
Yeah.
Just drive.
Yep, 4 of them with rocket launchers. Yep.
It's so good.
I was one of those people that said delay the game, wait for co-op. Now that I've played it, I'm playing it on Heroic single player, and I'll wait for May to play it on Legendary with my mates. Now that I've played it, I'm like, yeah, they should have released it. It's so much fun, but cannot wait to jump in with all you guys. Playing co-op together on Legendary, getting everything, doing it all over again. It's going to be so much fun.
Bushido, I want to get your thoughts on it so far. What are you feeling?
For Halo, Halo Infinite?
Yeah, for the campaign multiplayer. Oh, yes, this game.
Halo. Listen, man, this game is like when I first started playing it, it was a different feel to it. Like I went in kind of like, all right, I just hope it's good. All right, I hear it's good. Let's just, it feels good to me, and it immediately did. I love the direction they went in. I do. I forgot who said all of it, Peter, but I'm doing everything. Like I don't care what it is. Like go get this armor piece. Go save these Marines. Like there's nothing I'm not going to do. I'm doing everything, and I enjoy it. I enjoy these boss fights. The game is like, when I look at it, I'm like, man, they really did a good job of mixing in. Like you said, you got the old school Halo guys, and they complain about everything. You got the new school guys that want everything but don't know what they want. But this time, it seems like they've done both. They were able to give everybody what they wanted because nobody's complaining.
Now, look, I heard, I think it was Skill Up. Shout out to Skill Up, but man, you were fucking wrong, bro. He was talking about the world feeling empty. I don't know if they changed it like from early access.
Yeah, I disagree.
Yeah, it wasn't empty. It's not empty, man. Like you kind of come around a corner, and then there's always like it's not completely full.
Yes,
there's not always, but you go a fair enough distance, and then boom, you're engaged. Next thing you know, you're fighting.
It would make sense if it was full. It makes sense for the world.
Yeah,
absolutely. That's not a realistic thing when people keep saying that about a world. They're like, it's empty. Listen, if you're going to make the world big, even in real life, are there things in between going from my house to the market besides houses and stores? And like, if it wasn't like that in the country, it'd be nothing there. It would be absolutely nothing there. So to say that it feels empty, it feels like a world to me. I always thought there was an overstatement of giant worlds. Now, don't get me wrong. If you want to say that you don't have anything to do between here and there, but you just said one thing that I find to be constant. Even if I drive from the propaganda tower to a FOB, I'm gonna run into people at least twice, and they pop up out of nowhere, and I'm like, oh, okay, all right, well, let's take these guys out. It's not empty to me.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, I agree.
one thing about gamers, they are really some spoiled freaking brats.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
What we are.
Yeah,
And
look,
so nothing's ever good enough. Nothing's ever enough. And then when you do something, it's like, all right, I'll give you a prime example. So you put a female as the lead, and then somebody's like, yeah, but they only did it because of the woke thing. But then you got the other side to say, like, well, why wasn't she younger? Or why wasn't she older? Well, why did she have to carry the this or that? It's always something wrong.
you mean like
So
Aloy?
true.
You mean like Aloy when she was like, they're like, oh my god, she looks really old. Why does she look really old?
Oh,
Because it's been like,
that too.
because it's been like 15 years, you dick. She got older.
Would it hurt her to put some makeup on, risky?
I
That's
know.
what
I
those
know.
was.
It's like, what is she wearing? This is crazy. This game sucks. Like, oh, this, yeah.
Yeah, everything is always.
I haven't played the game. Yeah.
Some stuff need to be said, but not everything. Like, come on, man.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to throw out here now that I've mentioned Horizon that game is boring as batshit, but there is
Oh,
a
I need
lot
to
of
talk to you
Massively,
again.
massively overrated game.
Yeah, it is
Massively
hugely-
overrated
No,
game.
hugely.
no, no.
Yeah.
We, we need to give a room.
I'm in
We need to
agreement.
get
I thought it was overrated too.
I'll be coming in the next
we need to
space.
get a
I'll be
space.
coming in the next space, and we'll talk on this. We'll talk on
Yeah,
all these
we-
games.
Have to fix-
I'm not looking forward to the next one, and I'm going to rag on it, and there's going to be some upset ponies. But that's all good. That's what Twitter's for. That's what we do, right?
Yeah, that's right. That's right. That's true.
But there is a lot of space chickens. Like, so it's not that empty. I don't know if you've looked around. There's space gophers. There's space chickens. Yep, that's right, Pyro. Space gophers. There's space
That's
chickens.
right.
There's space pelicans.
Yeah.
There's all sorts of like
Right.
wildlife, man. I was concerned about that. 'Cause
Oh, those
you know, I want
those
space
birds
wildlife.
are annoying. They sound exactly like the beeps that the UNSC audio logs make. And every time I hear one of those stupid birds, I think it's an audio log that I've been searching for the past half an hour. And no, it's just a stupid bird.
Shoot the bird. I just shoot him. I can't help it.
I do, mate. I do. They fly away. They stop making the noise. Perfect.
Oh, look, I think that 343 has hit the nail on the head with this game. 110%. It might have taken 6 years, all the bullshit in the background, whatever, who cares? They have nailed this, and it's a great, here's the best thing about this game. They're not done. It's a great, solid base for them to put DLC on top of, man. And it's like, I don't know if you remember the release of Modern Warfare in 2019. That brought me back from Battlefield 5 to... It brought me back to COD. I hadn't touched COD, I think, since Modern Warfare 2, if you believe the Xbox Museum.
Yeah, I think
Which
so.
is
Me too. Yep.
been known to be wrong. But if it is right, I hadn't. So and when I played that game, I was like, man, they do not need to make another one. All they need to do is build on this one. And it looked like they were going to, and they didn't. And that was a massive misstep. And this game is like that same feeling. It's like, man, we don't need another one. Just build on this one. Make this one the game. Live service can be a good thing if you do it right. And I really, really hope they do it right. But do you think they're going to? Umbra, do you think they're going to
They said this is going to be... Yeah, sorry. Go.
You go, Umbra, do you think they're going to do it right? Or do you think that they've already patented a DLC? And there's one on the way.
Yeah, they supposedly a leak for the DLC, or at least add-on for the campaign. I'm actually, after playing a campaign and playing a multiplayer, I'm sold. The vision is sold to me. I think so long as it's more substantial and it's not like, I don't know, like a few hours. If it's actually substantial enough where it's 10 hours or more, I absolutely will buy it. That's not even a question for me. And I think they have it nailed down. From what I've heard, as far as the rumors of the ending, it leaves itself open enough where DLC like that is going to make sense. So I'm 100% behind it. I just think it all comes down to implementation. They have to make sure that they still treat it like it's part of the main campaign. They can't treat it like some, like for instance, when you had Halo 4, we had Spartan Ops. They can't do that. They can't treat it like Spartan Ops, where like, oh, here you go, and a little cheap little cutscene. No, it needs retain the same quality cutscene that we see in the main campaign, as far as things and voice acting goes. They do that, they'll have success on their hands, in my opinion.
You mean follow that storyline?
Yeah, I think they need to go along the lines of Hivebusters. Hivebusters, I think, was done really, really well. I think it was a little bit too short, but yeah, you're right. And I want to see more biomes. I know in terms of the story, it makes sense because you don't really go too far. You're always in the one place in the part of the ring that you're on. But I really want to see more biomes. But yeah, I agree with you, Umbra. It's up to implementation.
We're in space. We can get off the ring.
It depends on how they do it.
We can go off planet. We can go off planet. That would be awesome if they were like, oh, there's a problem at this planet here. It's got an installation where they're building parts for the Zeta Halo.
I like your thinking. That's good thinking.
Yeah, and then
I do too.
You could head over there, and then like you've got to attack that part of the thing, and then like, oh shit, like we've got a ship, and man, there's we're in space. There's so much that we can do with this, and it's just I'm a little bit scared that they've done it too well, and they're gonna like fall on their ass. I'm a little bit worried. Is anyone else a little bit worried with Bonnie Ross?
No.
Uni?
Not that.
Uni? Are you worried?
Done? No.
I'm perfectly fine.
What did he say?
He says perfectly fine.
All right. That's fair enough. I'm a little bit worried about Bonnie, but hopefully we get the DLC it deserves and the respect it deserves. Guys, it's been an absolutely fantastic show, man. Thank you guys for coming in. I appreciate you guys having coming along. Xbox University, man. Tell everyone where they can find you, where you're at, and what you've been up to.
Just hit me up on Twitter. I'm saying we're going to launch the podcast next week as well. So, we definitely want to show y'all some love. Thanks, Umbra, inviting me, Risk It, my Jedi, and of course, Bushido. We always be on Twitter anyway. So, see y'all in the next spaces, man. But thank y'all so much for the invite, man. Always great to talk games with you.
Awesome.
No doubt.
Bushido, man, where can everyone find you, bro? What are you up to? What have you been playing aside from Halo, if anything? And yeah.
Just Halo. Oh, no. I've been playing 12 minutes also, but I need to get back on that. You can find me on the Twitter. Same handle, Mr. Bushido N7. I think oh yeah, almost forgot. You can find me also on my podcast, unfortunately, at the same time as this podcast, on Doomsayer's Den, which is every Friday at 6:30. Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to talk to them about switching times.
Right. Yes.
We'll just delete that bit out of the show so no one hears it.
I'm gonna have to do some editing at the end. That's all good.
Like magic.
Awesome. Awesome, man. We support other podcasts here as well, man. Jedi Knight, as always, thanks for coming along. Let the people know what you're doing, what you're up to, where they can find you.
Yeah, I'll be playing Halo as usual. You can get me on Twitter, Jedi Knight Peter, my Xbox handle, Jedi Knight Peter. Thank you, Mr. Bushido, for coming on the show. You were fantastic. Xbox Uni, we didn't always agree, but you were amazing too, mate, and thank you for coming. Umbra, as usual, you're the best, mate.
Yep.
Appreciate the opportunity.
Umbra, let people know where they can find you, what you're up to, and yeah.
Well,
go.
I want to give appreciation for that. Thank you, Jedi. I appreciate that, brother. Risk it. You guys are the best as well. You're legends, as you guys saying over there. But I appreciate you guys, of course, for the warm welcome and keep, bringing me in. as always. And thank you, Bushido and my boy Uni, for coming through and blessing us with, with your takes. Well said, gentlemen, all well thought out. And of course, we always rocking the spaces and things like that on Twitter. You guys can find me on Twitter under Infinite Umbra. And here on YouTube, you'll see me under Eternal Umbra. It's just a play on the name. But as far as Xbox, you can find me under Super Havoc on Xbox. So please send me a request if you want. If you're cool, you want to play some more Halo multiplayer, add a brother in. And yeah, thank you guys for joining us today. All those in chat.
Yeah, Mr. Bushido and Uni guys, thank you for coming along. You guys are awesome. Your takes are great. It's been a real fun show. These shows are getting better and better, and the guests are getting better and better. That's not a diss to the past guests that we've had. That they've also been good, but you guys are great. Umbra,
We just
Jedi,
lost Uni, but yeah.
yeah, so good. Umbra and Jedi, as always. You guys are awesome. Guys in the chat, thank you for coming along and making the show what it is. You guys really do make the show what it is. I read everything. I don't always have time to respond, but I'm listening. Well, that's it for the show, and everyone have a great night. And we will see you.
Please hit that like and subscribe button on the way out. And everyone, check out The Matrix Awakens. If you've got a Series X or a PlayStation 5, just download it and give it a go. Later, everyone.